Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and I am very excited to bring you this special review.
If anything, the Kim family, they're archetypes.
Which is sad, but not always a bad thing.
I'm okay, I have one
Let's
Zusi on the name.
Let's try them. Let's still try.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around. Do you guys have a new intro? That's a special track made by a fellow Canadian collector and musician. His name is Stills. He's Stills Music on Instagram, STILZ. So it's really cool of him to make that for the channel. So go check him out, please. As you know, today was HasbroPulse Fan Fest, and a lot of stuff was revealed. And then also, the last time there was a Fan First Friday, I did a wrap-up review with my friend Troy. We also do a weekly recap of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier with our friend Jason. And since both happened on the same day, I figured, like the Spice Girls say, when two become one, that's why we're doing this. Jason and Troy are laughing off. Can you guys hear him laughing? Yeah, Spice Girls. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I came up with that and then decided to use it too. But also, I just want to say, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if you guys got to see today, but I was on the live stream for the event, and it's super cool. And I just really want to thank everybody who watches the channel, and whether you watch, support, like, share, everything, like, it helps put me in this position, like I got to this place. So I'm super appreciative of everybody who supports me. I just never would have thought something like this, like today, would have happened. So I honestly do want to give a sincere thank you for everyone who supports and believes in what I do here. And this is, without the cliche, without you guys, like, I wouldn't be on that panel today doing this. But let's talk about the toys. I'm super excited. We're going to bring on Troy and Jason as well. Troy, as Troy Collects Toys on Instagram. And sorry, that was real close. Jason had to sit back. And Jason, he is Jason Lapidus on Instagram. He also is the artiste on Group of 7 Comics. What's going on, gentlemen?
Trying to reel in because
the real gentleman let the other one speak first.
We blasted off today with some huge reveals. So that was my little bit, sorry. But it's such a good day.
Better than my Spice Girls joke.
But Kevin, can we just talk about how such a great day for you? Holy crap, I saw you and I was like, oh my God. Because you did tell me about this, this week sometime? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I didn't think you would be up with some, like, I hate to say it, but like some legends in our community. So I think we're deeming you a legend in our community now.
I didn't even know, like, who was really on there. Like, at first I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of people, right? And I thought it'd be like some sort of, why am I holding a skateboard? Like a collage or something, like a wall full of people. And then I found out, like, they filtered it through each brand, and then it ended up being like just the 6 of us for Marvel Legends. And I didn't even know that Shartimus was going to be the one speaking.
You mean Russell?
Yes.
Right.
That guy, yes. Speaking on behalf of everyone.
And it was just right. Book Nice was there.
Yes. Bug, Toy Bro, MCU Collector, Dan Who, and X Manny. All real big time in like the Marvel Legends review and YouTube game. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And you.
And now me, I guess
Legend.
the Mount Rushmore. Honestly, like, it was just cool. I guess it's because I'm used to just talking to you guys all the time every week. It felt like another, like a Zoom call, but then to see it like up on the screen afterwards or on YouTube, which I don't know why that surprises me. This is on YouTube right now, but like, it's the event. Like, it was cool, man.
But you realize what this means, right? Like, you've taken your brand and you made it something that people are watching and people are tuning into, and the fact that you're getting recognized by Hasbro because of the job you're doing, that's a huge honor for you, because listen, you bust your butt every week to do these live streams and people are watching. So big
Thanks, man.
yeah,
and that's why I want to thank everyone who believes in this or enjoys this, watches it. Oh, cheers. Oh, thank you, Troy, for the restock this week. And so people who watch and people who support this, like it's super, super, super awesome. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it, Kevin.
you definitely deserve it.
Yeah, you're a good dude, and good things should happen to good people.
All right, well, that's it for tonight. Let's get going. I've heard all I needed. No, just kidding. Real quick, you guys getting new toys this week? Jason, Troy. Oh, Troy helped me out with Nova.
I helped you with Nova this week. Honestly, like, I don't want to take up too much time on this, but like, what a wild week for me with toys. Kevin, you know why? But
yes.
We just had like the weirdest week here. Like, one day we're allowed into a store, and next everything is barricaded and you can't go in. So it's like, but thankfully, before all that happened, Nova popped up on our shelves. This is for my friend Phil. So Phil, this is for you. This is yours, still in the box and everything.
Jason, you didn't grab one?
I passed on it. There were 3 in my store, and I was like, no thanks.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the thumbnail that we're gonna do with all of us. No, I'm kidding. It's cool.
Nice.
And then what else?
So you picked that up for me. That was awesome. And a Power Ranger.
Did I fought someone for that? So
nice.
So, yeah,
like a real Power Ranger would.
I did.
Jason, you get anything?
I did. I you know, I'm a mark for older characters, so I got my Jean Grey.
Ah, yes.
So finish off like my X-Men of that era, other than Banshee, which of course we all know is the last figure that will get made eventually.
Right.
So I have
era of Dwight.
Yes, so I have what I'm looking for from the X-Men, which made me really happy. I also picked up Peter B. Parker, which I was really happy to get. As I've mentioned before to you, Kevin, in person, that movie, Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, was really meaningful. I'm sitting there with my son and my daughter, and every time Spider-Gwen comes on camera, my daughter lights up, and every time Miles came on, my son lit up, and every time I saw Peter with a belly, I was like, oh, I'm home. It's so good. So I representation matters is the key there. So, when I saw, you think I'm joking.
Representation that you've been waiting for.
Oh, I've been waiting for an over-the-hill, heartbroken version.
I was like,
of
yes, Shang-Chi.
Yes.
You know,
me and you, Shang-Chi, let's go. Shang-Chi.
For me, it's Peter with a gut. So when I saw that, and I didn't even realize it was going to be pinless tech, and so I'm happy that it's off the.
That figure looks great.
Yeah, it's like off the visual brand they've been doing for the other figures, other than those 4 from the wave or whatever it is. It's like not the Marvel Legends looking faces. It's matches the movie, which made me happy. So that's all I picked up. But I went hunting for the retro, the 3 3/4 Kenner style retros, and I came up empty-handed.
You came up empty-handed?
I did. I didn't do a great search. I went to Toys R Us, 2 of them, and one sent me to the other. When I got to the other, they were like, "We have 8. We don't know where they are."
Jason, I should have messaged
we
you.
haven't. I haven't. I don't make use of my network very well. I don't have the
group chat, so we can figure this out.
I want to collect the entire. I love all the 3rd wave that dropped today that they showed. I'm like in for all of it. I'm of that era. The Secret Wars figures were my first impressions of Wolverine and other Marvel characters. So that aesthetic, even though I know these don't match in scale, but the aesthetic is the same. They look like they're made of the same plastic, the same paint apps, like the same colors. So I love the card art is amazing. So I want those figures completely.
Sweet. Oh, I knew I should have picked up that Hulk figure. There was a Hulk on the shelf. And then I walked a little bit more, and there was a full case there.
Right.
Like, full assortment.
Well,
so,
Jason's gonna have to wait 4 weeks after this quarantine is lifted.
I'll figure it
Go
out.
back and grab those.
One day.
Marcus Yee is in the house. He says Marvel Legends, Peter B, or the Mafex.
I stick with Marvel Legends. I think I only have maybe 2 Mafex, and I get them when they're on sale. But I don't upscale to imports. I try and stay on the ground level of toys I can play with.
Yeah, so shout outs to Marcus Yee, Chad Kinsler's in here, NYC Figure Fanatic, Action Figure Expert. What's going on? Happy Friday. It is Friday. I kind of like like a little Friday segment too. I could wrap up whatever I missed from like the Thursday to the Friday stream, like whatever comes out Friday. That's pretty cool. So this weekend, well, Thursday, Friday was HasbroPulse Fan Fest. Thursday there was a special event for HasbroPulse Premium members, of which I am not in the club of, but Troy was. And do you need to go? Do you have intruders?
No, there's a dog out in the yard. I left the window open because it's warm in my house.
Yeah, I left my window open too. So if a dog barks, I apologize.
Well, it just happened here, and the internet's still going. So
okay, we're good. Perfect. So Troy, you were part of the party. You got to see this.
I did. Well, I sent you the link because if you sent the link to someone, you could have got in. But a little bit of cheating there, but LOL. Yeah, I saw this. They kind of teased Cannonball before, and then they showed Domino, and then I was like, okay, Domino. Okay, there's something has to be here, and then you just kept on talking about Domino. Then they're talking about, oh well, we promised you legs, and then you saw half the legs of Cannonball, and then you saw the full Cannonball. I'm hoping this is a 2-pack of some sort because they did show off that 2-pack that they got, or they did about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And that was just the worst thing I've ever bought in my life. But honestly, I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed with this. I love it. I hope they reuse some of this parts because those are pinless tech on Domino, and they said
the first female figure with double jointed elbows, right?
Exactly, and I think that's what their standard is going forward now. That they're going to be doing pinless tech and double jointed elbows on female figures, and I gotta say that's a warm welcome in my books.
Yeah, man, it's everything on this looks super clean. Is this more like a classic traditional Domino? The other one,
X-Force.
What's the other one that came out?
The one that came out was from the Sasquatch wave, and that was more modern.
Yeah, right. And she was sharing parts with Mockingbird. Right? She was sharing wrist and leg part. Well, the whole body was the same, basically.
Right.
This is like super Rob Liefeldian with the
look at all the pouches.
The pouches, the head framed. It's not a mask. It's not a tiara. It's something in between.
How does it stay in place? It's so cool.
Right. It's comic book magic. And then, of course, the leg straps. So it looks great for what it is.
I really like how they're reusing the Omega Sentinel legs here. Because when you saw those legs, I was like, oh, these could be used for something else. They're pinless.
Yeah.
And kind of, they just remove the knee pads, I believe. And then they just redid the knees. And you have an awesome figure. I like it. I like it a lot, and it's going to go well on our X-Force shelves. Hopefully, we get that last key part. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, people. Feral.
Did they say if this Cannonball comes with the fire effect?
I don't think they said that, but they did say that
if it doesn't, I'd have to go back and buy it.
You could get it on clearance now.
He's warming the pegs.
Yeah. They said it comes with alternate, I believe, an alternate head.
Maybe a flying grimacing head or an unmasked.
I'm not 100% sure.
You got to do goggles down. You got to do.
I think probably
that would be
down.
the one that would be most effective or most desirable. Be goggles down.
I'm just very surprised they didn't talk about this more on the live stream today.
Right.
Yeah, I like for people who weren't in on that event, they didn't touch on this at all. I don't think they even referenced it. Did they even reference it? Like, oh, yesterday we showed this, or they didn't even put it up on the screen. Not that I recall.
I personally think that they were two separate events filmed at two separate times, to be honest. Because yesterday, someone was in a different location than they were here today.
Right.
So I think it was filmed prior. I think the version we saw today was filmed before.
Okay, that makes sense.
I could be mistaken, but we'll see.
One of the things I heard about the event yesterday was people were getting really, I don't even know what the word is, just toxic. Rowdy in the chat, toxic, absolutely, and acting like some spoiled Some people were getting out of hand in the chat yesterday to a point where like they had to shut off the comments. And for me, it's like, why would you pay for this event to come and boo, come and boo them and just basically heckle? You know, it's like paying for a comedy show to go heckle the comedian.
That sounds like a great idea. What time does it start?
I just
Okay,
honestly,
if I ever do stand up, I'll let you know.
one of the worst things about internet and culture right now is just we're so easy to get online and start typing things and be like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. But
Yeah.
you know what? At the end of the day, if you don't like something, you could pass on by. You don't have to buy it. And that's the best thing about the collecting community. We don't like something, we don't have
Jason,
to
what does
buy
this
it.
mean?
Just brushing it right off, man. Like,
Exactly.
absolutely. Just move on by.
Exactly.
You don't have to-
I really thought you were going to quote Jay-Z.
No, I was going to quote Luke Skywalker.
He's a rapper.
Oh, what?
Who?
Right. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. You have the option to always walk out, to step away, turn it off, change the channel, whatever it is you need to do. You don't have to say anything bad because it doesn't get you anywhere. But people, you're right, Troy. People are really, really quick to trash stuff. It makes. I'm gonna trash people. It makes small people feel bigger to trash on something else. So
Absolutely.
it's something to strive toward, to try and be not like that in your behavior. But that's morality talk.
Excuse me.
Bless you. You're so good looking.
You were so good looking. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute myself for like 2 seconds. I have the next door neighbor's dog who likes to bark all the time, just barking, and we go close my window. So
Okay.
BRB.
Well, I mentioned this on my live stream last night. My friend Chamba said it. It's like we are in, the cliche of like, hey, we're in the golden age of toys right now. But it's so true that like, not only why can't you just walk by something that's not for you?
Right.
And also, to add to that, there's so much stuff out there. Something can be for you. Just go put that energy of you being negative and go embrace one of the 5 different companies that have the license for this toy that you want or this brand. Like just go do that.
Yeah.
Just take it one step further.
For sure. There's never an excuse to be hung up on, well, one of the brands isn't doing well, especially with Hasbro, from my point of view, because all you got to do is wait and they give you a better cannonball.
Exactly. I think
That's fair.
Hasbro has been doing such a great job. Regardless of what anyone thinks, Hasbro has taken Marvel Legends from what it was, a dying brand, to one of the best selling and successful brands. They redefined the 6-inch scale. Remember that. There was no other figures that were 6-inch scale. They took it and they skyrocketed. Now we have every single line, every single like manufacturer doing 6-inch scale. So this is a kudos to Hasbro for being pioneers. And
for some reason, not McFarlane.
Not McFarlane.
But you're right. If you think about some of the most famous toy brands or action figure brands of all time, you get your Kenner Star Wars, your Hasbro G.I. Joe, and those are both famously 3 3/4. And Star Wars is so vibrant at 6-inch. It's perfectly suited. It just took how many years of them making ugly-faced Mark Hamill's and Carrie Fisher's, but now but truthfully, now it's such a better time where even in the same year you get that Dagobah training Luke, which from my sense looked great, and it comes out at the same time as the Empire Strikes Back Luke, which I was like, I don't even want to open it. Like, to me, that face sculpt is great. I love that figure. I love
that's
the
one
arms,
in the 2-pack too, right? It's probably one of the best looking Lukes. It's incredible how many different Luke faces you can have while still being the same character.
They released them at the same time almost, and one is just from the era before, but they level up every year.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year they level up. They figure out a better plastic for they figure out the blend of soft goods to plastic, the blend of hard plastic to rubber. Like they figure it out. You just give them a chance, and the best figures are coming. They're always coming down the road.
I think the best level up is in my hands.
My God.
This figure has never been Like the old figure never was displayed on my shelf.
Right.
I'm so happy that they went back and did the photo reel. I think they're probably one of the first brands to actually be like, hey,
Hey, good boy, what's going on?
photo reel. And they've been, again, pioneers. Every brand is doing photo reel now.
Yeah.
So I cannot hate Hasbro at all. They may not get some of my money.
Sure. That's your
But
choice.
they are still a visionary brand. Anyways, enough of the.
Not everyone has Kevin Smith money to buy everything they put out. So sorry. First of all, Domino, and Cannonball. Jason, dope or nope? I forgot that's the name of the segment.
For me, it's a nope, but it's not
Okay.
because they're not dope. It's just I'm gonna save my money for something else.
Wait, we need, what was it? Dope, nope, or what?
But if I have, I like the idea of having to fit into the hope or whatever. I like the idea of fitting into the dichotomy, right? That binary yes or no. And when it comes to, am I going to put down the $60-$70? The answer is no, I'm not going to.
Right.
They look fine. Of course, those were renders, right? Those weren't the real figures anyway. They look fine, but they're not moving me out of my area of interest to something I wouldn't normally buy. It'd have to be like spectacular for me to make that step. So for me, it's a nope.
All right, Troy, what about you?
It's a dope. I'm buying it. Okay, I'll buy it if it's not a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, but because they did mention something about being Pulse and something. But if it's, if it comes out at EB Games or Toys R Us, definitely I'll pick it up. Yeah.
Pick one up for me too if you see it, please, and vice versa. Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, chat's working, guys. DD says Black Series is able to compete and hold its own against import figures. That says everything you need to know about. Yeah, that's fair. There are certain figures or certain characters where it's like, this is good enough. I don't need to pay the 80, 90 or whatever it is US for some of those characters. But for Domino and Cannonball, for me, that's dope. That's a pickup for me. Good Boy Collectibles is in the house. Butter Nation is in the house. Yes. Hit me with those butter emojis.
Oh, Beachhead.
Oh, yeah.
I even bring a stick of butter to...
Hey, I've been so busy. I'm so sorry. Like every day I'm doing something and I totally should be picking up the Beachhead you gave me. But I see Kevin a lot. So definitely give it to Kevin.
Yo, Brooklyn Knight, what's going on? Okay, so next... They showed this today. One of the first things they showed early on in the Marvel segment are the, as you mentioned, 3.75 Kenner, I guess, remakes, They're homages. Do you say it with the H? Homage.
Who, me?
No.
Homage?
Yeah, anybody.
I say it with the pretension that comes with a full homage.
Of using that word.
I don't say homage. No, I don't.
So we have the astonishing Ant-Man. I'm going to switch over to my photo app so I won't see you guys. Ant-Man. And this is Wave 3.
Correct.
And Jason, have you even seen Wave 2 here in... well, you've barely seen Wave 1. Troy's seen Wave 1. Troy, have you seen Wave 2?
I don't think so. That's the one with Elektra, right?
Yes.
No.
There you
and
go.
Daredevil.
The card art on these are gorgeous. I cannot deny that.
They're fantastic.
Bullseye, Cyclops, Hulk, and the Invisible Woman. And then Ryan was like, "Oh, we love the Fantastic Four here," and he says maybe at some point we'll have the whole team.
Silliness, of course they're going to. I love that little picture in the background too, of the Fantastic Car. That's like a Jack Kirby homage. That little image in the back.
I think that's foreshadowing something.
I would love it if they made these and then a 3.75 friendly Fantastic Car with some push button sound effects. And oh my gosh.
You're just a big kid. I love it.
Oh, I just want to play with the things that I would have played with when I was 10. Like that's exactly. I have this theory that we might have had the coolest era to grow up in. Like that's when kid culture was at, like, it finally got interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the teenage culture doesn't exist until the 50s. I think like the 70s into the 80s and 90s is when being a kid was actually the best time to be a kid. Up until like now is fine, it's all good. But I just mean that's one of the reasons that people my age and younger don't grow up is because like kid culture was better than being an adult by far. Finally.
Absolutely.
So yes, you haven't even asked, but I'm dope on all of these. But
How'd you know that's where I was going next?
But I
Dope on all of them?
I will pass on Grey Hulk. I have no interest in Grey Hulk.
Nope for everything, but nope for Grey Hulk. Troy, what about you?
See, this is one of the things I could be like, I appreciate it.
Exactly.
But it's a nope for me.
Right.
Yeah, you can come over and look at mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post them on Instagram. I'll like it from there. But honestly, like this is something that people can be like, hey, I don't want to buy it. But you don't have to flame someone and go crazy in chat about it.
For sure.
So
I miss the days of going over to my friend's house to play with toys.
Yeah, that was the best. Did you grow up with someone who had a toy that was out of either your I don't want to say price range, but something that was just way cooler that you were going to get, that you went to their house to play with it because it was awesome? Troy, what was it that you went over to go play with?
I can't remember.
So there's two things. My friend Michael, his family was like, he was a rich kid on the block and he had a PS2.
Right.
He had Final Fantasy X. I was so jealous. I was always going to his house to play Final Fantasy X. And then he got me addicted to The Sims. And I was like, oh man, I like The Sims. So yeah, those were the two.
That's cool. Video game stuff was huge. I had a buddy who had, this is going back now, like one generation older, a buddy who had the Sega Genesis and NHL hockey.
My friends had Sega Genesis.
So at this point, I'm in high school, and I'm like, skipping exams to go to his house in the middle of the day to go play Sega Genesis hockey because it was just so cool. Yeah,
naughty,
for sure.
I'm totally dating myself. I had a friend who had a Nintendo, and I would love going over to play the Three Stooges game. The Three Stooges of all things. It was awesome.
But so we all did video games. Are there any friends that had toys, like actual? Because this is a toy show, right?
Not much as this. A lot of friends had like Ninja Turtles, which I was into.
Right.
So it wasn't
I think I was the person with the toys.
Okay.
Because I was the person who was always on that. Like I played Pokemon. I loved Pokemon cards. Then Digimon came out. I bought the Digimon toys. I bought the digital Digivice, and then Metabots came out, and I bought the Metabots toys. So everyone would be like, "Oh my god, I'm coming over to play." So I think I was that person.
That's
for toys.
Awesome. I had a buddy who had all the G.I. Joe vehicles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he had everything, all the tanks, and it was going over there was like being in an armory. It was incredible.
Wrapping up the retro figures, for me, it's a nope. As I was telling Jason beforehand, the card art is gorgeous, but I don't have anywhere to buy and put that. Like I was telling Jason, I've bought these Marvel themed Hot Wheel cars where the art, again, the card backs are beautiful. And the cars are like regular cars with like Marvel artwork on it, but I don't have anywhere to put it. So they're literally stacked almost as if in a packing box, interlocking to save space, and then put in a shelf to the side. So this would just end up in another pile. So for me, it's a nope. If you love it, then yeah, I mean, I see the appeal. Moving to the next thing we're going to talk about is the Marvel Legends MCU Infinity Saga. Right there, you see this new box here with the fancy foil-like font. Thor, or the final battle scene when he's fully suited up. Let me see if I can switch over to more pictures. So he comes with, was it Stormbreaker?
Yes.
And Mjolnir? And now they have like this glowy lightning or thunder effect because it's kind of blue and translucent.
Lightning. Thunder's a sound.
Yes, that is correct. I had it first. I had it. I have science in brain. Mjolnir has like some cool effects inside as well. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see it in this image, and you get the two lightning effects. I saw on Instagram this was sculpted by Mayshelf, And if you're not familiar with Mayshelf, please go follow him on Instagram. He's also the sculptor for that the Fox movie Deadpool. He did that whole thing. He sculpted the Venom Pool Build-A-Figure. He sculpted the Old Man Hawkeye head that everybody loves. You know, the long flowy hair version. So
the Magneto head.
Yeah, it could be a Magneto, could be anything. Dude's super talented, and like when you see a Marvel Legend come out, that's like just, you know, top to bottom looks awesome. It's a safe bet that he did it. I tagged him in a picture today. I'm like, how's it feel to only hit home runs every time you go to bat? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look at the detailing in the beard.
Those braids are awesome.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I really have to say I like about Hasbro. When they get the concept arts, they just, you know, they're not the best figures because they're based on concept art. But when the figures come out and the movies when the movies are out and they get that final render and everything's there, they take a swing and they connect and it's a home run. This is
they put Mayshelf up to bat. That's why.
Yeah, this is so good. This is so good.
Right.
Agreed.
And they made a point of mentioning that, like, you know, movies out, we have the full, like, all the full details. They're going to do it. Like Jason said, just wait. They're going to do it right. They're going to, the version that you want is going to come out.
I love the fact they're going backwards and they see a gap in the collection that people want to have. You know, I mean, I have my MCU shelf, and at the beginning are the figures from the beginning, and then it's, you know, moves along, and by the end it's the characters as they look at the end. And Thor doesn't have a spot. Like, there's no one there in my shelf. That guy needed to be there, and I'm grateful that they don't just look forward, but they also look back and take the time to fill in the gaps when there's a really good opportunity. And when you have a big three, you have to have the three characters in sort of the same moments,
right?
In your story, and that goes back to me to the Kenner Star Wars figures. There is a Luke, Leia, and Han from all the same parts of all the same movies in the original Kenner figures. So you can't have one of the three missing. And maybe it sounds morbid, but I kind of still want to beat up Tony Stark. Like, not necessarily actually dead, but toward I want the snap moment. I kind of want that anyway, but this is awesome. That's the bottom line.
I mean, if the listings are accurate, we may be getting one. So who knows?
Yeah, just maybe an interchangeable hand and head, like a battle damaged hand and him just in that moment where he's snapping his fingers. I don't need him actually, you know. But anyway, yeah, that's super dope. I'm very happy.
Dope for Jason.
That is, Dan, if you're here, I gotta say, you have won me over. That is a dope. I will be purchasing this.
What if Dan's not here?
He'll watch the VOD after. But I DM'd him on Instagram going, hey, you won. Congratulations. Nice. So nice. He did mention, he's like, we're going to get you on board. And he got me on board. And this really was one of those things going, this looks so good. So
do you feel like he's gunning for you?
I think everyone's gunning for me at this point.
Yeah, this is a dope for me too, man. I've been waiting for like the Brothor was the other one, like the regular clothes, the gaming one. I didn't end up building that Build-A-Figure, so I'm like, the moment's kind of passed. But like knowing that this is here, I don't have the cool lounging clothes, but this looks badass, man. And if it's Mayshelf, I'm usually there for it. So that is a dope for me.
And knowing that this is going to be a single release and like going to be like a $39.99 figure, this so much, like, it just boggles my mind because I didn't want to buy a full wave to build that Build-A-Figure. Now I spend $40 and I get a good version of this Thor.
Right.
That's a good point.
I keep forgetting parts. No reuse.
DD says this Thor is great, but I'm gonna wait till a Love and Thunder Marvel Legends comes out. I only collect display one figure of each character.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's your collection. That's definitely wait for what you want. I thought maybe like you would wait for like a comic Thor. I think if I were Jason, if you had one Thor, one Marvel Legends Thor.
The 80th anniversary one is
hell yeah.
It's the inspiration for all of it. I mean, that represents the thing that inspires every other version. So right now, that is my default Thor.
That's a great Thor figure.
It is. It has enough of all the pieces I'm looking for. He's huge. Yeah, it's great. But if I had to pick one MCU one, it might be the one from Infinity War. Not the eye patch one, but the different color eye. When he arrives at the end, at the climax of the film, and yeah, bring me Thanos Thor. Because the other ones don't look right because they're not the face, right? They hadn't leveled up yet, so
right.
They were pre. What do you call the tech? Face print. What do you call it?
The face scanning.
Photoreal.
So it's anything pre-photoreal now just doesn't hold up, right? Like
sure.
They can go back and redo the one from the original Avengers. They can redo the one from the first Thor movie, and I would buy them again because I want the photoreal tech face. Give me some more Hemsworth. Come on, he's perfect for that. So anyway, what's this?
What is this? This is the box they have shown for the HasLab Sentinel, which is coming out later this year. And they showed the Sentinel on the Thursday party, right, Troy?
They showed that Sentinel and all his articulation. I didn't know a Sentinel could do the splits until I saw it on Thursday.
And you didn't know it would need to.
Yeah, I didn't know. Honestly, I really, really love this Sentinel. And how many are you getting? 6, 12, 95?
I have 2.
Oh, I thought you got like 3.
I don't have Kevin Smith money.
Oh, true. I only got 1.
That's going to be my new running joke. I don't have Kevin Smith money.
I mean, he didn't have to spend anything. He just got stuff.
Okay. So for people who didn't watch the Transformers part, the coolest thing I was telling these guys was like they had an Optimus where you can use voice commands to change it into what, like it stands up and automatically transforms.
You mean converts?
No, it converts. Yes. They had Jay and Silent Bob doing the video talking about this this really, really cool. Honestly, it's an amazing thing. I'm not crazy about Transformers, but just seeing it as like a fan of toys, it's just like, dude, like something like this. I'm sure Transformers fans have waited or have been like, you know what would be crazy? A Transformer that transforms or converts on his own. First thing they said, Jason Mewes is like, hey, Optimus, convert. I was just like, what? The converters?
I laughed at that. I was like,
it's ridiculous.
So I don't know. Did he say it wrong, or is that the actual command that's programmed in? I don't know.
But Optimus did it. He responded.
Yeah, he did it.
He did.
He begrudgingly was like, "All right," and then they have the real Optimus voice actor. Like he walks. You can go Optimus roll out, and then like and converts again, and
roll out.
And it's $700 US. I get it. It's a lot of crazy. Like they made a point of showing there's this many microchips and there's this many parts, and you're just like, I don't know how that affects it. Is that a good number? Is that a good number of microchips? Like 40? That's a lot. Is that better than 30? Is that less than 50? Is that worse? I don't know. It's $700, and then Jay is like, oh, I'm gonna go on HasbroPulse and order 2 right now, and then they're like, it's $700, $699, and Kevin Smith is like, yeah, I would pay that. Like, yeah, you would pay that. And whether you got that free or not, I don't know. But like, dude, you're big time Hollywood guy, right? You're like, yeah, of course. It's like $700 is like nothing. Are you wincing at the fact that I said he's a big time Hollywood guy?
Correct.
Is he really big time? I think he's like a B-list.
I'm not a fan of giving people some sort of letter grade and trying to knock him down by saying he's not. But in terms of sure. But But in terms of
Okay.
his price point, like the kind of wealth that he earns from what he makes every year, it isn't like he's not rolling in a fortune. He's doing fine and he's earning a living. But that guy tries to, if you follow along with his products, he tries to commodify whatever he can. Like he's in the business of Kevin Smith.
Right.
But it's not like he's earning millions from his movies.
Okay, I misspoke. When I say big time Hollywood, I mean like in terms of celebrity, like he's kind of been around for a while. He's in a lot of stuff. He's been relatively relevant,
Sure. Well, sure.
All right, you know what?
He's show running the new He-Man TV show, animated show coming on Netflix.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He has a weekly YouTube show that does this.
Yes, he does.
About movies and television and all that kind of stuff.
He does the weekly crying at Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision
or anything he watches. He has a very open heart.
Yes,
he's very receptive to feeling a range of emotions, which I respect that. But this is a box. Cool.
This is a box because the HasLab, I think this is the first time they showed the box art. I believe this is actually a panel out of the comics. I remember when I was reading it, seeing this specific panel. But I don't have the screenshot of Ryan holding this box, but like
it is huge.
It was him. It's like this big. He had to bring it into frame. It was like a giant novelty box. It was crazy. So it's really big. I don't even know if I didn't know where I would make space to put 2 Sentinels, I definitely don't know where I would put 2 boxed Sentinels.
Honestly, we're going to be charged so much by FedEx when this comes to us. Oh my goodness.
No, shipping's already paid for, isn't it?
Not import fees.
Troy, look, that's a problem for September, Kevin, okay?
You mean August, Kevin, so
is it August?
Yeah, they confirmed today that it's shipping in August.
So is August Kevin keeping the boxes?
Keeping the boxes?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I might give one to the kids to like play around in and sit in and make it into a robot.
That's cool. Troy, are you gonna keep the box?
I tend to keep boxes that are like sentimental, so this will be definitely something I'm gonna try to store, even if I have to like maybe condense it or something. So yeah, I have like giant posters in my room and I have to hide things behind these posters. So like I have a huge Infinity War bus shelter poster right over here, and it's so big that I have like things behind it. So
that's genius.
Yeah, I have a big like sorry, this is going on a rant, but have you ever seen the buses going by and you have like that side like advertisement on it? I have one of those behind that poster because I used to work for an advertising company, so I used to get things for free.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you can put it on the side of your house or something.
Yeah, or if you're ever trying to break out and trying to dig a tunnel, you can be like Andy Dufresne and dig a tunnel behind your poster. No one will ever know it's there.
I don't think people will notice, but
the detective's looking around like something's out of place here.
Where's Troy? He's not in his room anymore. He usually hermits in his room.
He used a spoon and crawled into the sewers to escape the prison. If you guys get my reference, I don't know if you're
Shawshank.
Okay, wasn't sure.
We had to watch that in school, so I definitely knew the reference.
And a Dufresne.
Yes. Another one, I almost forgot to bring this one up, but good thing I have all the pictures. They revealed Quasar before, but now we have in-box pics with the accessories. You have the flight hands, judo chop hands.
Are those from Iron Fist originally? The white Iron Fist, or was it like a Steve Rogers? Yeah, like it is White Iron Fist.
It was White Iron Fist, yeah.
Yeah. That Iron Fist had a lot of hands, almost like the Shang-Chi.
Right.
It's kind of funny because that figure is basically the same figure as this. It just
he has big hands.
It just has a different upper torso. That's all it is, and a different upper torso, cape, and head. So this is the exact same figure.
I don't know why we're putting up with pinned legs. moving forward.
Yeah, I don't get it. How do you do pin upper or I don't know, pinless upper?
Because it's not a full commitment to a new figure, right? It's like a halfway.
Yeah.
But don't you already have, like, obviously I'm not in the industry. Don't you already have it made and molded, or is it just you have the technology but you have to make different size legs?
Right.
I don't
so each of the parts is proportionate with the other parts that go with it. So you can't just grab. So what legs on, like, I don't know what you guys want to call these ones. Are they naked legs from your point of view? There's no sculpting on them rather than the muscle.
It's just
so is there another naked leg that is at this scale that has pinless knees?
Actually, hold on.
Detective Troy is on the case. Oh, dang. There's Invincible to watch tonight, too.
Yeah, man.
Been a long day.
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah. We're still going to talk. I don't know if people here know. We're also going to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier after all that.
We are.
Stuff. Spoilers abound. Hopefully you've watched today's episode. If not, feel free to stick around until the end of Marvel Hasbro. Did you find a figure, or you want a few minutes, Troy?
No, I don't think there was a male. I think the only male that came out with pinless pants was the Old Man Hawkeye.
Cool.
Right.
Well, Peter B. Parker also has them.
And Peter B. Parker, yeah.
Again,
those
that's
are like
not the right style
pants
at
legs.
all.
Yeah, those are pants legs, and
he's actually wearing sweatpants, right?
I mean, this is a smart reuse, what they're doing.
Yeah, man, reuse it.
So, we have to say if we dope or nope it.
You want to go first this time, Troy?
Oh, yeah, this is a dope. Definitely getting 2, 3, 6. I'll send it to all the US guys before, because we're probably going to get it randomly next week.
Hell yeah.
For me, it's a nope.
Did you see I was waving it? I was waving Nova in the panel today when they brought us on screen. I was going, and I was like, oh, you know what? Should I bring something to unbox, and that'll be my thing? And then I was like, oh, I should have brought some butter and toast, and I could have buttered stuff because I couldn't say anything, right? There was no audio. It was just Shardamus talking.
And you were asked to play it up, didn't you?
Well, if there's no audio, right? Your only means of communication at that point is just completely
the art of mime.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, and I'm like, what else do I do? Do you clap? There's no sound. It looks weird. So I don't even remember what I did. Luckily, I was wearing my Marvel t-shirt, so I was pointing at that.
You did a great job.
You did.
Fantastic.
There's one screenshot that looks like I'm on a roller coaster because I'm going like this.
I kept on trying to get a good screenshot of you, but if someone if someone was going like this or something, I was like, oh, I'm not going to send this to Kevin. So
yeah. So Quasar is dope, man. If you end up buying 2, Troy, let's if I
see him first, I'll let you know too. But I would trust Troy before you trust me.
Fair enough.
You will definitely get a message from me going, I found him. You want him?
Absolutely, I'd be down. Next
looks
is
cool.
the.
It just doesn't interest me.
Quasar? Yeah. Next is the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange Eye of Agamotto roleplay, which I think is really cool, man. It comes on this stand that has like all this detail on it. The gem lights up, and then when you take it out, there's some guy wearing it. When you take it out, it's still illuminated, so it's not just lit up inside the eye. And when you open it, there's actually like moving parts in the gears.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's 50 US.
Yeah,
usually the roleplay stuff is right, because you like a helmet's like what 100 Canadian, 150 most of the helmets. The shields are over 100, so I don't know, is this tinier or what? You know what, I'm not gonna complain. It was up on Toys R Us today.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah.
Oh, it looks great.
Honestly, this is something that I don't do the replicas, but this looks so good. Like, and at this price point,
yeah,
I would definitely buy it.
I want to walk around that. Sometimes so my son Elliot's 2, and then when he's learning about circles, he always goes like this. But it's funnier because his arms are real short. But every time he does it, I picture him as Doctor Strange, like opening a portal or something, going like this, or however the hand is. So yeah, we do that around the house a lot, and I would love to wear this. But he doesn't know. He would be like, "What are you doing, you idiot? I don't understand this. I'm two. What's Doctor Strange?" But yeah, this is dope. This is really dope at that price point. Do I need it? No. Can I grow a mustache to do a Doctor Strange cosplay? No. Do I have the gray hairs for it? I absolutely could pull that off. But yeah.
Yeah, I love this. But the only problem is I'm one of those people that would probably like lose the gem. So
you have to put a gobstopper in there.
Yeah, like I'm one of those people that like you should see my toy display over here. Half of those have been on the floor already. So yeah, dope probably will get first role play. No, actually I lied. It's not my first role play item, but this is one of the ones I would pick up. I mean, I bought the Infinity Gauntlet, but this is definitely looks a lot of fun. Like, so I'd be a nerd and wear it outside.
we all are. And while not Jason has too much self-respect. Snob. And then next is going to be the Marvel Legends wave that they revealed today. It was cool because during one of the other live streams,
G.I. Joe,
some of this entire wave plus that Eye of Agamotto was, and Eye of Agamotto is just fun to pronounce. So yeah, another reason for dope.
It was funny because like you messaged me going, send me the link. So here's a link. And I was like, oh my God. And I sent this link to other people. I was trying to save photos. And I was like, holy goodness, Toys R Us just leaked this whole wave. And it was so, I was like, man, if they wanted to, the element of surprise was gone because of Canadians like us.
Here's the thing. There have been worse leaks with like the day before, or like a week before where someone's leaked it. They jumped the gun by like what, an hour or something?
Yeah, this came out, the leaks came out during, I think, the G.I. Joe panel, because I was like, I was kind of watching it, then I wasn't watching it, and then you texted, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started like going crazy.
There were still people on the panel that I was with. They like a lot of them were surprised, like they hadn't seen it yet. So maybe the leak wasn't as big as it could have been. I don't know. Did one of the major outlets, what's the CNN of toys? Did one of them pick up the story?
So what I saw was that you sent me just the picture of Ursa Major, and then Rectangular posted the card back of, I think,
with all the different figures.
And then I think you sent me the links to.
Someone said Toys R Us, and then I ended up searching it, and then I sent it to you, and I downloaded all the pictures, and I'm like, I really want to post this right now. And then I said, I probably shouldn't, because like I'm in the panel. I don't want it to like it just wouldn't look good. It's not a good look. So I left it, but I'm like, yo, I got the pictures ready to post it the moment they talk about it. I'm just be like, go.
Same.
So
I was waiting for the last reveal, and then I posted it, because like at the end of the day, these guys work hard, and like I don't want to burst the bubbles of anyone. And at the end of the day, it happens. This
is the internet. This is probably the closest that they made. This is almost an entire wave on the day of that didn't get revealed or leaked until the day of. So, and there's a lot of stuff on here that we weren't expecting, right? Especially the Build-A-Figure, which we will get to. Here we go. The first one, Vault Guardsman.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think, Jason?
I want the Build-A-Figure.
All right.
The Guardsman is
it dope? Nope. Or I want the Build-A-Figure.
It is a nope, because if I do buy it, I'm going to try and sell it to someone who's troop building. And if I can get the part without getting the figure, I'll do that. But that figure looks great. The colors look cool, but it would sit at the bottom of my bin.
What is is this an Iron Man type of?
It is an antagonist, but like a trooper. He's a guard at the vault, the prison.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Right. Hence the
Falcon
name.
Guardsman.
You got it, bud.
Oh,
It's just a generic bad guy from the 80s that he could fight at any time, like a Mandroid or, any of those kinds of things.
Cool. Troy?
I don't know who this is, but because I want the Build-A-Figure, this is a dope.
Right.
That's not the reason. That's a nope. I'm selling this.
You're selling? Well, you sell me your loose one, and I'll take that then.
That's what I'm saying. You can take my loose one if you want. You can have two.
All right, you can
Perfect.
take all of our loose ones.
I'll do it.
So
I
you'll
know what
have
I said.
3.
So this is a dope because I need that Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And yeah, Dwight was mentioning that like they didn't come with any unmasked heads, but this is technically an army builder. He said maybe down the line there would be unmasked heads. I don't know.
I can imagine that they'll do, down the road, like this and another army builder 2-pack with unmasked heads or something like that. So you get, 3 heads and 1 buck of 2 different kinds of
guardsmen.
Like there was like with the AIM and the Hydra coming out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So that was one where we didn't know about.
Right. I'm just hoping
today.
that Baff is a little bit darker than the Sasquatch. I hope it's not too orange.
I
You
think
know?
it's a little
Sasquatch
bit
is
like
real orange, and it's like kind of.
this one is more like reddish
Kinda
brown.
patchy.
I want it to be distinct enough, and I'm hoping it is.
Can we
How
just
Sasquatch looks the paint, it's like the shoulder is a darker one, and then the
Yeah.
bicep is a little bit lighter. And every time I look at it, it kind of looks like he has a farmer's tan. Like it was just right at the bicep where the color changed into the forearm.
So all I gotta say about this Baff, without talking about the Baff, they're really getting some miles out of this sculpt here. We're getting 2 of the same, basically the figures this year. We're getting Zenmu and this guy,
Right.
and they're using the same buck. So
Well, the arms.
darn.
I think the torso is a bit different. Well, when we get to that slide, we can kind of see the more detail of the torso area and different parts. So that was cool that, new figure, nobody knew about it, or nobody leaked it until today. Ultron, they did talk about Ultron before, right?
Yes.
And Jason, I think I know what your answer is, but dope or nope?
Dope.
Absolutely. I love that
dope.
they included the attachable Kirby Crackle as you.
Dude. And anything that kind of comes from 60s Marvel, like first generation Marvel stuff, I'm all in for, or 80s Marvel. When I'm growing up. So those are the 2 sweet spots. And no, this is great. It's missing from my collection. I would have done a Marvel Select if I came across one that was of this version. I need that guy in my villains display next to, Doom and Loki and everything else.
I had the Marvel Select one, and I think I still do.
Troy had everything that Jason wanted.
I know.
I love it.
I have a question with this one. Is this pinless tech?
The knees look pinless. I
They
can't
do.
see from the arms.
Mm-hmm.
They look pinless as well from here.
From here it does, yeah. Honestly, this is such a home run of a figure, and this is a figure that we definitely needed because we've gotten Ultrons in the past, and they were just undersized. They weren't the best. They were built off other figures, and I'm so happy that Hasbro decided to actually fully tool this figure and make it comic accurate. So
Right.
this is such a dope.
Yeah, 1 second. I think I found another picture that has that shows it's not. Sorry, that shows it is pinless.
Troy, would you get more than one?
For this,
Yeah.
probably not, because I
Change the eye color and have drones.
don't know if I can. I'm such one of those guys who can't do build a figure army builders.
Okay. Yeah, it's totally pinless. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it looks great. Pinless knees, pinless arms, abdominal, or what is this? Diaphragm, swivel, because robots don't need to do sit-ups. Or androids. Did I offend Ultron?
Maybe
He's listening.
he's always listening.
I have to navigate. So for everybody, that is dope. That's dope for me too. I'm definitely down for this.
Definitely.
Next, let's see. Marcus E said there were two people who took up the name. I believe this is both were brothers. One of them ironically named Kevin. I think the other was Patrick or Peter.
We're talking about guardsmen.
I think so. That wouldn't really apply to. Cool. Now I have to buy one because it's Kevin. Dope. Changing my answer. They did a good job with the silver. I don't see any marbling. Yeah, hopefully the actual figure turns out as nice as these look. Do you think? I don't think these aren't renders, obviously, right?
No,
Because
but you have
they
to
have inbox pics.
you have to also remember we when we first saw the Nova figure, we didn't think that there was going to be like a metallic crackle on it, the marbling, and most of the Nova's helmets are all metallic and have that swirl, and it's unfortunate that it's under the eye. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see the final renders or the final figure when it comes out. So
Doom Dazed says, I just want the crackle.
Oh,
I love it.
That's Rick. Oh, Rick. He just wants the crackle. Yeah, Rick has an amazing comic that's full of Kirby crackle.
ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, he just draws Kirby crackle everywhere. It's just the whole thing.
This is the Iron Man, Stealth Iron Man.
yes.
Extra hands, blast effects. This awesome comic Tony Stark head. Was this anything that was revealed before? I don't recall.
This wasn't revealed, but it was on that leaked little list that came out a couple months ago. But yeah.
It's
Jason?
the same Tony Stark head as the 80th anniversary,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the exact same because
Sure.
it is the 80th anniversary figure, just stealth.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure I want this figure, but
Yeah.
I
Right.
just want the bath.
I fit in the category of the nope. In my mind, Tony Stark, you want to have a stealth armor, just push the button on your suit to go from red and yellow to stealth. Like it's if an armor can hide, anyway, it doesn't. I'm all good. I'm happy to pass on this one. It does look super cool though. Like it is.
It looks fantastic.
If let's just say this was Iron Man, like there wasn't a red and gold, but this was what Iron Man looked like. This is a super cool looking dude.
Absolutely.
It's just I'm happy with the other one that we have, and this isn't Iron Man. This is just a stealth suit. Since I don't have a Hall of Armor like Troy, I don't need to fill it with armors.
Here's the thing, Troy. If you have one Hall of Armor, how many slots are there?
5?
Do you find that now you have to play like which are my 5 that are going in there?
I'm
Who
not
are
gonna
my
lie.
5 favorite children out of all of my
Yeah, so
Iron Man?
I went for a walk today, and after this panel, and I was like, "Oh gosh, there's a modular, there's this hologram one. Oh, there's the one from this Shang-Chi wave.
Wondering
Oh,
life.
no. Who am I taking out? Who am I putting in?" So yeah, there's definitely some consideration of who's going to be let go from the Hall of Armor, but
Oh my gosh.
but there is also some hope because there is always, other available Hall of Armor sets at the Disney store. So
Yeah.
you could always just buy another set, but I can't put it this way. I can't make it higher. I can make it this longer, and it doesn't really look good longer, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think most people just stack it higher.
I don't have enough room. As you can see, my shelf is right behind me with all my figures. That cannot display that
Did
many.
you just point with your thumb in a thumbs up motion?
I did. I could have went like this, but I went like this. But yeah, honestly, guys, even though this figure is a nope for me, there's always going to be a few figures in this wave that are going to just be repaints, and that's to bring the cost of the wave down. So
Right. I'm okay. I'm cool with that too.
yeah, I'm cool with it. I want the bath, and might have to display this in the Hall of Armor, but it's
It
fine.
looks cool. I feel like if you had a Hall of Armor, like just that one variation, like a complete total color change, would look pretty cool.
So
Hey, Terrence is here. What's going on?
So what I'm thinking of doing with the Hall of Armor is putting this one on the far left and then the modern one on the far right, and have the classic armors like kind of like just filling out the rest of it. So I'm probably going to keep this. So it's fine.
That's cool.
And
though.
if I don't keep it, I'll sell it at a toy jam.
A reluctant dope for Troy.
I have to say, by the way, I didn't mean to dismiss my friend Rick's comic. His comic is called The Power. It's excellent. You can follow him Doomdazed on Instagram. Super cool dude. I'm just busting his balls because we chat all the time, and I forgot that there was like an open. People could see what a jerk I am just right out in the open. But no, I just was teasing my buddy Rick. But
secret's out. The secret is out.
The dude likes Kirby Crackle, and I respect that. As do I. And I'll say, Rick, if I do get 2 Ultrons for some reason, I will give you one of my Kirby Crackles.
Aw, look at that.
So do you guys like the modular? Is this cool?
Yes.
Looks great.
So can you clarify for me just what the modular armor means to you guys? Is this from the cartoon and it just comes in pieces, like in Iron Man 3? When he does his dance and the armor goes to his body, is it the same thing?
I don't know.
I was never deep into that cartoon. I think it looks great as an Iron Man. I know it's a modular Iron Man. I know people like Sean are really hyped, and Aaron and a lot of those guys that we know. But I get it. It looks fantastic. But I don't know what the appeal is, other than is it just reminiscent of like what Jason's saying?
This is Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so that's where it hits for you.
Troy, you could have saved me a whole bunch of rambling.
No, you have to ramble. I ramble, so I'm going to let you ramble. But no, this is definitely Marvel versus Capcom for me. This is like exactly the era of. I used to work at a Laser Quest, and we had Marvel versus Capcom at my work. And anytime it was dead or like I was like alone, I would go and put some money in there and just play Marvel versus Capcom. So this is such a like a nostalgic factor for me. So it's a definite. You're in the display. You're in the Hall of Armor. Let's go.
Cool. Oh shoot, I love it. It's like if it's a good Iron Man, it's like you're in the Hall of Armor.
Yes.
If not, you're in a bin. Pinless again. Super cool.
Yeah. Looks great.
I wish they had more accessories that came with him, because in the Marvel vs. Capcom game, he comes with like a whole bunch of stuff and he just like transforms. But
isn't
like
that the point of it being modular is that you can mod like a module comes in to join parts, like a Centurion toy from the 80s.
Exactly.
Like it should have those things. Do you think maybe they're going to do a higher price point version that comes with all those things with a tiny bit of a different paint scheme? Like a yellower gold or a darker red, and then all these amazing pieces that port on, but then they're going to kill the sculpt by having portholes.
See, the only thing that so with this figure, it's such an iconic figure for people, and if they don't do it, that's something that would kind of be like, oh, you missed the boat on it. I could definitely see it having a yellow paint job. I could see it definitely having like some like. You really don't have to change like the sculpt of it. You could just literally pop off the hands and make something out of the hands. So I could definitely see them doing a deluxe figure of this 100%.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's there's no bath piece. I think it looks cool, but that's a nope for me.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know where he would go. Obviously, I didn't even know where the suit was from. I had it confused with something else. So it's a nope for me. Jason? Oh, yeah, you said no, right?
It's a nope. Probably only two Iron Mans. I like the 80th anniversary, and I'm not sure. I really like when they leave things alone for a long time so that something becomes classic. And I find there's too many. Once they broke the classic red and gold armor and went to the Silver Centurion, it's felt like every year or every 2 years there was another armor that someone feels an attachment to. And I'm always just trying to go back to that kind of original one. I know it's not the first one, but you know what I'm saying. So I kind of want it to stay the same for a while. I don't know what my default modern Tony Stark armor is. So I feel like he doesn't have a good spot on my, there isn't like modern one that I love.
Yeah.
But this one is a 90s one, so it's not hitting my spot.
Honestly, Jason, just buy a Hall of Armor and then it's done. You could just buy all the Iron Mans.
Yeah, I'm like that with Batman. So
yeah, that's Batman's
my Batcave is full, dude. Yeah.
Hey, Piercing Pencils Art, what's going on? Thanks for coming out. So Troy, this one is a dope for you.
Yes, it is.
I might get it anyway. I mean, you never know. Sometimes do you guys ever just go to the store? Stop. Do you ever just go to the store with like, a couple 20s in your hand and
I was going to say a big stack of.
Yeah, a big stack of ones, and I'm going to buy a toy, a roll of ones.
You just get off your shift at the strip club and you're like, I'm going to go buy some toys.
Are you judging me?
No, I'm just making
I thought we
sure.
talked about not being haters. Anyway, you go in because you're in the mood to buy one. You're looking to get that fix of buying an action figure, and that's what's on the shelf that day. You're like, okay, of the things that are here, this is my best option, and I want to open something today. So
okay, I could see that.
Yeah, that's
more power to you.
If that happens in my life after my shift at the club, that's what I will do.
Gotta make love in the club.
The next one here is probably one of the best, if not the best, of this wave. Ironheart with the unmasked head and some new like the accessories with the smoke and the blast all combined together. I don't have that picture right now. I think it's super cool. I think there's a lot of people who are waiting for this figure. And the head sculpt, I think, looks really well done. Like, what do you think, Jason?
I want the bath part.
Okay.
I do like how her armor looks like the counterpoint to the Tony Stark armor I do have from. Was it a Black Panther? What was that wave that had Black Bolt and Namor?
It was a Black Panther wave.
Black Panther wave?
Was it a Okoye wave? Yeah, it was the Okoye wave.
So I have that one, and this seems like the counterpoint, the male-female counterpoint to that armor. It's a character that I know of but haven't read or have no connection to yet. So I might give her a shot because she's something completely different, but I want the bath part. So, but if I want to save $30 or whatever, I'm going to say nope. But I want the bath part.
Troy?
This is a definite dope. Honestly, to see that this figure has pinless tech and the elbows go whoosh, that's just a win for me.
Didn't Dwight make her do the splits as well?
Yeah, he did something with it, and he was going all over, and didn't like Bastion like fling her off the shelf or something. But
yeah, he went nuts in the middle of it. They just
he's like, I'm just gonna play with toys.
He had them fight on screen.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful figure, and it really just they're doing such a good job. My goodness, and they're really like planning this because we're getting an Ironheart series, and then look at this, we get an Ironheart toy.
Right.
So this is so good. My only complaint with these Iron Man figures, and this is going for all Iron Man figures, we're getting these hands that are just stuck in this position, right?
Yeah.
Can we please just get some hands that go like this? Because when I like to display my figure in the Hall of Armor, it's not like this, it's relaxed.
Right.
So,
I get you.
All I wish. Not like this, just this, and we can move it to this if you want.
Yeah, I've never noticed that. The armor would be relaxed. They wouldn't be fists standing there, right? No. That's a good point. So I get you.
So good. And I love these new smoky things in it too. So.
Yeah, it's very cool. The effects are awesome. They've really, with War Machine and Black Widow and all those figures, they've really, again, leveled up in those accessories that make these figures that much more fun to display and to play with variations and whatnot. If before now and then I interact with the character in a meaningful way, I'll want the figure, whether if I read a comic that has her in it that gets me, or when is she getting a show?
She's getting a show. I think it comes in 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, well,
so it's kind of a far off, but just
you never know.
What's that? An Avengers run where she was in it and some other teen characters were in it. So
I'm not going to read it.
No, I don't think I will. Oh, no. He's Old Man Cap.
It's not that.
I don't think I would.
It's with Marvel and DC Comics, I kind of only want to read stuff where there's a vision, where someone is trying something that is different as opposed to maintaining
not the vision.
Not necessarily the vision. I'll give you an example just quickly. Have you guys heard of Beta Ray Bill?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is not a comic book that I thought I would like. I never want to read a comic with Beta Ray Bill as a main character. That to me isn't something that, like, this is a D-list or a C-list character. But this is the best Marvel comic book I've read in a few years, by far.
Oh, wow.
It's a number one. It's by a guy named Daniel Warren Johnson, who did Wonder Woman Dead Earth. With, if you don't read comics, that was probably one of the best DC comics out last year. And he just, it's that old approach of give me a character that no one cares what I do with him, and then you knock it out of the park because there's
That's cool.
you have the creative freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So the book isn't drawn in like Marvel's house style. It's drawn like Daniel Warren Johnson style. And he's free to do whatever he wants. And right away, within 20 pages, he will knock you over with action and break your heart with emotion. It's like, okay, I'm in. Whatever he does, I'm going to read. But that book you described for me makes me think it is something that is like very Marvel house style.
It is.
And
It is. It's very
I'm not interested.
It's very cookie cutter. It's
Right.
the basic, like,
Hey, I like my cookies.
yeah. So I
like
definitely don't
cookies,
think
but-
it's something you'll read. So
It's just, it feels it, unless there is a person in it who's has, like I said, vision and some creative freedom, then it's like the same old, same old. They're just maintaining the monthly quota of getting a book out, as opposed to this book comes from a place of inspiration. So if I can come across something where Riri Williams or the Ironheart, I read something that is inspired, I will go for it.
Piercing Pencils Art says you get the right formula of writers and artists, and any D-lister can soar.
100%.
Two thumbs up.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, for me, this is a dope. I just think she looks great.
She really
overall.
does.
Yeah. Here we go. This is the hologram Iron Man.
I think my face says it all.
Hey, I can move the tiles over here. Okay. Yes. I don't know. Is this like a, what suit is this that has a hologram?
It's the I don't know what suit this is, but it's definitely based off an Iron Man.
It is Civil War and Spider-Man
Yes.
Homecoming.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I don't know, guys. I think this is kind of cool.
It is cool for Tron. You're right. It's a very
Yes.
cool Tron Iron Man crossover figure.
Okay.
Okay, I get you.
So here's my vision for this figure.
Here we go.
Have him in the Hall of Armor, and he's just a wandering hologram that's in the Hall of Armor, just being that, security guard.
It's
So
Is it like the Jarvis
yes.
avatar?
Yes. So for me, it is not the best because we're technically getting 2 hologram Iron Mans this year.
Oh, they could have put that hologram head with this. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Or
So
maybe the goal is that you can kit bash them together.
yeah. So for me, like, this is
Sure.
such they were talking about how they put so much love and effort into it, and I appreciate that. But guys, no, this is a nope for me. But unfortunately, it is something I will be buying.
Yo, Marcus Yee just made a really cool idea. Training hologram. Like if there is some sort of
Hard light.
that's actually really cool. If if I get it, I'll get it from Troy. Troy doesn't want it. I'll take it.
He's going to be
army
guarding
build
the
it.
Hall of Armor. He'll be there.
Oh, right. The
But-
Jarvis custodial Iron Man that you have.
I'm
He's
gonna find
dusting armors.
exactly. So I'm gonna find a mini brand's broom, and he'll hold it.
Fighting armor Iceman. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
cool.
What
It's
do you
cool.
think?
Yeah,
It's a
great idea.
Tesseract armor.
Oh,
It's like he can. I'm just spitballing. Never mind. Bad idea.
yeah.
I think it's
Eating
cool that they're
one house,
experimenting
top
with the plastic. Like I'm glad they're trying that out. And obviously, if they're going to be experimenting, they're going to use an older sculpt, so it all makes sense. Again, it looks really cool. And if that was Iron Man and there wasn't these other versions, it would be a pretty cool looking figure. But it has no place in my life.
But just that bath piece right beside it. Whew.
Look
Why
at the
don't we
detail
just-
on that.
Why don't we just go buy some bear toy?
I mean,
Yeah,
we could.
look at that.
You know, and like
What's the brand
animal
that's like
section,
Rust?
Mastermind or whatever it is.
Schleich?
people not looking
Schleich?
up like growling bear toy at a certain size on Amazon to see if there is something? Save yourself. But no, I want the bath. You already said that.
Well, we're gonna head to the bath right after. But this figure, you know what? It's surprisingly, for me, I think this is dope. I think it's really cool.
It is cool.
One of the
Yeah,
things I
I'll
appreciate
keep
about
it.
this figure, though, is remember how I was just complaining maybe like 5 minutes ago about the hands?
Yeah, I know. It's it's just like, oh, Iron Man, open repulsor, blast hands, and blast effect, and that seems like they're the combo. That's the first thing I noticed when I switched to this photo.
But these hands are just perfectly like this, so I'm okay with that because I don't move like that.
Let me ask: does this figure predate the ones that have the palms up mold? Because it might just be that's what the default is for that figure anyway.
I don't know.
I do not want to go look in my box of hands to find
out. Do you know what? A lot of the new Iron Mans came with this.
Yeah.
And we really didn't get any Iron Mans, like comic Iron Mans, until I believe that Black Panther wave.
Yeah, that was
everything. Yeah, because everything was based off of those movie Iron Mans until a certain point.
Right.
So, I love this figure.
Right. The last figure of this wave is Darkstar. As you can see, comes with the main body of the Build-A-Figure. And I guess we can talk about the Darkstar first. Where are you guys on this character? Is this do you need this in your collection? How does it look?
Yes, sir. This is going in my collection. This is getting a sheesh from me because I love it. Oh my goodness. I love the Winter Guard. So she is going in that collection. She's an instant buy. And I love that head sculpt. I know she's on that really fragile female body, but that head sculpt is beautiful. Beautiful.
Is it the same body as the New Mutants? Like not Troop Builder, but where it's the three-headed, Karma Mirage, and
it's using some parts. This is definitely a Jessica. No, this is the Jessica. Is it just no, not Jessica Drew? Oh, that Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah. So this does have like the flimsy like pieces. I do not like this body at all because this tends to warp. But I do
the knees, bow-legged?
Yeah, the knees tend to like go like that. If it's and then the elbow joints are really fragile. But man, this figure is beautiful. I could forgive that because the head sculpt is where it's at.
The head sculpt seems to have an attitude, which is a good thing.
She really looks like just a Russian person going, I don't care what you think.
Right. Now, can you guys remind me, because I can't think of it, were they always called the Winter Guard, or didn't they have a different name?
I don't remember. I was thinking Royal Guard, but then I was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
I'm going to look it up while we do this, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, Kate Bishop body.
Yeah,
Kate Bishop.
This is the body that's really outdated, and they've been using it for so many Marvel Legend female figures. I think this is one of these things where they need to retire this body completely and just really give us a new female body because this doesn't. Jason, you were talking about upgrading and elevating.
Yeah.
This is really not elevating anymore. This is something that we need to retire. I mean, that Bucky body is great because we're getting improvements to it, but this female body just needs to.
Maybe you should go on the next live stream and spam them and be a real jerk about it.
Well, technically, they do technically watch what we're doing, and they may have an opportunity to watch what we're saying right now or listen to what we're saying. So, just FYR. But
Piercing Pencils Art says, "Why is there not an ab crunch on the females? It's like an under boob crunch instead." So that's like the diaphragm swivel right on the ball joint. I mean, if you look at I don't know if you look at how big this knee pin is on the like proportion to the calf area. This is a very thin like body frame, right? I don't know if you how much space there is for, I don't know, maneuvering a ab crunch in there.
I really think that a lot of figures need to be built on the 2-pack Rogue figure that we got, because that was Pippa's technology. And I, honestly, like, I love it, but you can also see like those, her thighs, like the joint pops out. It just, oof. But I love it still.
Hey, good for you. You can make all these. You can point all that stuff out, and it's still a dope for you, I presume.
100% a dope for me.
Jason?
We know I want the bath. I have Red Guardian. I do like team building.
That's true.
And by getting this figure, I will have then 3 members of the Winter Guard. That's almost enough to kind of like, okay, maybe pit them against my Alpha Flight in some way, battling for the Arctic, I don't know, territories. I'm going to say, I hate you guys.
That's not the name of this.
I'm going to say nope. I'm going to let her see if it can win me over. I'm going to say nope with an open heart. By the way, they used to be called the Soviet Super Soldiers.
Oh.
So back, if you ever read the X-Men versus Avengers back in the day, I think they did some battling in there. They got involved. But obviously when the Soviet Union falls at the end of the 80s, they rename.
So Jason, this is a hope for you.
I hope you'll like it one day.
The buck is tired for me, like you were saying. Like if it was a character again that mattered to me in a more meaningful way, or if the sculpt or the paint was just so cool that I couldn't take my eyes off the production, I'd be an easier sell. But I'm on the fence. Do I really want to build a Winter Guard? I want the bear,
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can keep the bear without it.
There's a character called, I think, Vanguard, which I think is her brother. I'm not sure why I think that.
And
he has a hammer and sickle. Isn't that? Was he called Vanguard? I have the Wikipedia open. So the other characters. Oh, well, Crimson Dynamo, like that would be a member of that, and Titanium Man would be a member of that. And then the people that are inside. Yeah, Vanguard was, I think it's her brother, but anyway, there you go. He looks like he has a hammer sickle. He's a redhead, and he wears a big blue cape. And I think he's sleeveless. At least back in the 80s design of him. But again, back in the day. Who knows?
Back in the day.
And I think the Vanisher joins once in a while too.
This for me,
he might have been a Russian character, so
So this completes a team for me. If honestly, like,
does it complete the team for you?
No. Well, you have the Crimson Dynamo Bath. You have Ursa Major. Now you have
Wheels are in motion,
and now you have Dark Star. So to me, that's like that completes that team for me, because I remember this team specifically from that Red Hulk book a couple of years ago. So they were featured in it, and those were the main guys in it. So this is definitely for me like 100% get.
Cool.
Super cool. So the character I was talking about, Vanguard, Nikolai Krylenko, he becomes the Red Guardian after the Red Guardian dies.
Nikolai,
what did I say?
Nikolai.
That's my Richmond Hill accent coming forth. Pardon me.
Hey, Nikolai.
I don't like to do. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but I totally forgot about Crimson Dynamo. I did not collect it, even though I do have a few of the pieces kicking around. I did not.
I know, me too.
He isn't the version I wanted. I wanted the more mobile, less steampunk clunky. I wanted a leaner, meaner, slightly larger than Iron Man. Not that all the way to a. You look more like a Hellboy character. Kind of.
Just a
bit. You know what I mean? Which is cool too.
That's very cool. For me, it's a nope. I don't think I have any attachment to this character or sculpt or building this team. But for the reasons of getting the Build-A-Figure At some point, I'll probably get it and have to, I don't know, maybe sell it. But all of these Build-A-Figures, all of this wave leads to the Build-A-Figure, which was just surprisingly dropped on us today, which is the last thing we are going to talk about for the HasbroPulse Fan Fest, and then we're going to move into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So everyone who's in here right now, thank you for watching, but be prepared. We are going to talk about today's episode of the Disney Plus series. I'm just saying that because it's so much longer to say the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But now that I made myself say it one more time, it's we'll know going forward. So we're going to be talking about that after spoilers incoming. But the Build-A-Figure for this, that was a surprise for everyone today. Ursa Major. He's a big ass bear. Guys.
Okay.
Go ahead, Troy, please.
So, do you know when people say, the wave is just a mediocre wave? Maybe the Build-A-Figure could save this wave. This is what this Build-A-Figure did to this wave. It saved this wave, because we could have gotten all these Iron Mans, blah, 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 and things that we could have all passed on. But because this Build-A-Figure is so great, and it's something that's like, who would have thought we would have gotten a giant bear as a Build-A-Figure? This just blows my mind. So, oh my gosh, this really turned around the wave for me. And I don't want to, it's too early to tell, but this is definitely going to be one of my top 3 waves of the year so far.
Ooh.
Because of this Build-A-Figure.
Can we agree to call this a werebear?
A little bit,
because, yeah.
Well,
the face is pretty
aggressive.
aggressive.
It's a werebear, like in that it's not a bear. Bears don't look like that. That's
I've seen people calling it Build-A-Bear today. This is the first Build-A-Bear that I've bought or going to buy, which I do love that.
I think this figure would work in any room in anyone's home. Out of context,
I think it would work
in the
in
kitchen.
Canadian person's home.
But it's a Russian brown bear. The Asiatic brown bear. I think it's amazing. It's so dynamic. It looks like
so cool.
Nothing else I have or have ever seen before in terms of an action figure. It is really imposing. It like emotes. Like you feel the rage, right, with those claws in that face. Yep. So the fact that I'm having an experience means that I want to hold that beefy bear in my hand, put it on a shelf, and have it scare me in the middle of the night. Like that's
Troy, this torso is different from the
I'm looking at it now. I do agree that it looks a little bit different. There's some, I could definitely see some parts that may be reused, but maybe this is definitely new sculpting for most of it.
Kevin, you said that the torso looks different. Are you thinking about the hump on its upper back?
I think the lower part
that's a separate piece, right? That comes off. Oh, are you trying to think? It's not Sasquatch.
No, I don't think it's Sasquatch.
Oh, no.
I think they may have reused
maybe like here to here. But
I don't know.
I definitely
this is completely different. This is an ab crunch.
Yeah,
right.
It turns here. This one has the Ursa Major has the diaphragm upper, and then it does kind of look like, I don't know, maybe the photographer posed it a little too much, where it looks like he's been, I don't know, broken in half.
So I will definitely retract my statement saying that it is not like the Sasquatch figure, but we're getting a lot of furry creatures lately.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, like Jason said, that back piece up here, like it's 3 pieces when we saw that other picture. That I guess is it for packaging reasons that they have to see right here.
So that clicks on the back of the upper back, and then the fat and fur goes on the top.
Right. Is there a need for that?
Well, the bear has that.
I think it's just too big to fit into the package.
This one ends right here. And it's still kind of, it's still like, it's more seamless than...
Right. I agree that this definitely, it detracts from the sculpt side of it, right? Having more pieces detracts from the smoothness of it, but
Right.
it needs the mass. Like a brown bear does have that that hump of blood vessels and fat and fur on its back to give it that real grizzly look. It's got to have that hump there. Feel free to break into song at any point, but it does detract, especially as you see the gap between the shoulder and the bottom of that fur. And maybe if we heat it a little bit and play with it, you can get it to come down, or depending how you pose it. But you definitely have some children you're going to be scaring with this thing, right?
Yes.
That's what you would think that, but then like
Yeah.
I showed my daughter Sugar Man, which
And?
should be, super scary, and
Well, it's nightmare fuel, yeah.
Emma loves it.
Have you thought about getting her tested?
Oh my god.
No, she's my child. She's gonna be a little bit demented like me.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly,
She's-
but like, guys, this is such a winner for me. Like, I can't even.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Dope.
this is a dope.
Get this guy to fight the Hulk or the Thing. It's going to be so much fun to pose with other big bulky figures.
This is going right beside Sasquatch in my display.
Very cool. You can have like Wolverine fighting a giant bear,
Yes.
Hulk fighting a bear, I guess.
But it's not just a bear, right? It's a werebear. It's like it's part man, part bear. It's like in between.
Does this look like Demon Bear at all? Can you like put this with the New Mutants? Or
Why
is it
not? Well, the Demon Bear is just a projection, sort of spoiled
Yeah.
for anyone who hasn't read it or watched what the quote unquote movie. I'm going to say it's not a movie. It was a pilot for a TV show that I just canceled. Didn't even get picked up.
Honestly, I didn't even watch that movie. I watched all the clips on YouTube, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Nah."
It doesn't have an arc there isn't a growth arc that a movie has. It doesn't have it. Honestly, it was like a 60-minute pilot that had extra footage in it to make it 90 or 2 hours. But there isn't story for 2 hours or 90 minutes. It really was like a 60-minute pilot episode for the New Mutants TV show that doesn't get picked up. But anyway, that's just an opinion. That's my feeling. So it could be the Demon Bear, but the Demon Bear is like even more abstract because you're also taking one of the most abstract comic book artists, a guy named Bill Sienkiewicz, who draws really, really wacky proportion to like go with the mood and the expression. For instance, remember in Into the Spider-Verse, Kingpin was larger than a human being. That was a Bill Sienkiewicz pull from his style. So anyway,
Well, that wraps up the Marvel portion of our recap. Wait, what have you got?
incoming call from the Demon Bear.
We have one thing we haven't discussed.
Which is
It was a tease.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I forgot the screen. I don't know where. I didn't get a good screenshot of it, and
I
then
didn't either, but we could just talk about it for a
Fantastic Four stuff?
second.
They teased. Sorry, go ahead, Troy.
No, you go ahead. This is all you, Brad. This is Brad. Did I just call you bro? I was supposed to call you bro, but I call you Brad.
What's up, everyone?
This is all
This is
you,
Brad
man. This is all
gay
you.
toying around. So they
This is all
showed. It was pretty cool, actually. It was like HasbroPulse plus HasLab on the screen, and then the plus symbol started turning into a 4, and then like the whole graphic turned into like the Fantastic Four symbol. And that's why I couldn't get a good screenshot because it kept moving. So I'm just like, damn it. I had one where like it was the 4 that was just starting to branch out into the circle, and then the circle glowed. So I'm like, okay, this is it. This is a screenshot. I click it, and then it starts glowing and doing this whole thing. And I'm like, crap, I missed all of it. But they announced a new HasLab project, which is Fantastic Four. That's all this Fantastic Four themed. I don't know. Was there some phrasing in there? Something that they said that might give you a certain impression, Troy or Jason?
The music.
For me, I don't think it would be Galactus or any big figure. It's definitely a fantastic car. That's 100% what it has to be. Because if it was Galactus, you would be showing like more than just the Fantastic Four, right? You'd be showing different other people because he has other ties. I think it's definitely a Fantastic Four related, 100%. We all know this, but I think it's the Fantastic car, and I think this is probably where, if it is that, they're probably going to add on some figures like a Franklin and Valeria. And I think this is where we're going to first see them in the Marvel Legends line. That's just my thought.
Jason, you said the word music.
Yeah, and was there not a comment from one of the good people on the team saying that the music was ominous?
Yes.
So that's the word that tells me that it's not a fantastic car, because that's exciting and heroic and fun and lighthearted. Galactus is ominous.
Yes.
Galactus is this other thing.
He's
So
the
just to
power
build
of
on what you said, Troy, about if it was Galactus, they would include more other characters to show you that the scope is larger. But if they're trying to be vague and they make it so that it's so clearly Galactus, then they don't get to have the tease. Yeah. But if they say just Fantastic Four, then it could be one or the other. Yeah. So my thinking is it's Galactus, and they don't want to commit to making it too obvious. The kid in me wants the Fantastic car. You know, I want a disassembling version that you can reassemble and fly on their own, go back together. And I have a great Galactus from some guy that I bought it off of at a toy jam. And you push the button and it talks, and I'm happy with that Galactus. And I'm not going to get either one anyway because they're out of my price point for toys. But I would be really happy for all the fans if it is a Galactus, because it would make everyone in the world excited. And I have this awesome Galactus t-shirt that I was wearing for probably the last 36 hours from TAXFH. Do I have the no HF? I can never do the ending. Anyway, I have this really cool Galactus action figure t-shirt. I don't know if you have one, Troy.
I have the Sentinel one.
I got both. Anyway, so I'm happy for people who love Galactus, and he's just so huge, and it also, like, that feeling that they're going to put him in the movie properly one day. Like, it kind of builds all towards not having the cloud of smoke in the space version from Rise of Silver Surfer, but it's such a powerful thing. So I was wearing that shirt, and I was going to a bike shop today, and this like 65-year-old dude was like, "Nice Galactus shirt." Like, nice. It has a power to it.
Yeah, man.
Is iconic, right? Jack Kirby, when he made up that character, the description, we always credit Stan Lee, or you guys all do. This is what Stan Lee told him: the Fantastic Four fights God. That's what Jack Kirby did. All the rest of that work. Ooh. So Stan Lee says God. Kirby comes up with the design. You know, all the idea of it. The whole story was done through Kirby. So it has like a real strange, like, Mayan architecture and design in it. It's so weird and out there. There's nothing else like it. I really hope for everybody it's Galactus. Anyway, do I think it'll be taller than Sentinel?
It's going to be to scale.
Should be.
It should be taller, 100%.
Yeah.
It has to be like, what is Sentinel, like 18 inches or 12 inches? No, 18 inches?
18.
The BAF or the HasLab?
HasLab.
It's like 28.
Oh, gosh. So then this one has, if it is Galactus, it has to be 40
36
inches?
Come on, like, let's get up there.
That's going to be crazy.
Eventually, we should just get a costume and start dressing up people as Galactus.
I didn't want to get the HasLab Sentinel at first, and I wanted to 3D print some cosplay for my son, and he would have been like a 25-inch Sentinel walking around the house. That could save me some money.
He will also destroy the X-Men.
Yes, and everything in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, that is the end of the toy stuff. Next, we're gonna talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What episode number was this? All I know is 4. The world is watching. The whole world is watching. Let's start off the beginning of the episode. Oh yeah, so guys, episode 4, we're gonna talk about that right now. If you haven't seen it yet, thank you for watching up until this point. I don't want to spoil it for you, but we're just gonna go through the basic episode plot points of the episode, things that we noticed, things that we thought was really cool, and I hope if you've watched the episode already, you can stick around and give us your input and join in too. And was there toys this week for the show? I think so, right?
Zemo?
No, we'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
Episode starts off. It's a flashback. The White Wolf. The White Wolf. Bucky is in Wakanda, and him and Io. It's Io, right? We confirmed in this episode.
Sure.
Yes.
Who you see at the end of the previous episode. She's there. She's saying the what would you call that series of words? This is like an initiation sequence.
They're like
Activation code.
Yeah, it's an activation code. Definitely
Yeah.
a sequence of activation codes for the Winter Soldier.
Right. And she's saying them. He's struggling. Like this part was, I
It was
think
amazing.
Sebastian Shaw killed this scene. You can see
Yeah.
like the struggle in his face, and then immediately they cut to some flashbacks of stuff that he's done. He's staring at in the fire, and he's fighting it. He's fighting his programming.
Or he's not fighting it at all. He's terrified.
Yeah.
Like that, okay, that's how I read it. I read it as
Okay.
he is absolutely terrified that that he's not okay, that he is still this monster. And as she goes through each number, his anxiety is building that it's going to come out. And I don't think he was fighting it. I mean, that's how I read it. Is that it was the pure fear, and then of course the relief.
Yeah, it was such a great
It was amazing.
One of the things I really love about this show is that they're taking different music from different movies and they're changing it up. So like this one where when you hear him or her, Io, talking or doing the sequence, you hear that Winter Soldier theme going on, and then you could hear it change into something else when that relief happens. And I love that. And they've been doing this for every episode. So,
They also play like the theme for like Wakanda.
Yeah,
when they're first panning into like when they're first bringing the scene up, and that was really cool to hear it again.
Did you guys just not miss Chadwick Boseman just so bad when they're in Wakanda? And Black Panther is dead. Like, isn't that awful? Kind of, in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so the reason they cut back to that is to show that, like, hey, man, they helped, I guess, cure Bucky, reverse brainwash. What's the opposite of a brainwash? Anyway, that wouldn't make sense. And then, so because she's confronting me on the street, she's like, hey, you guys let Zemo out. We want to kill him. He killed our king. At the end, well, we discussed this at the end of the last episode, right?
Yeah.
And it's just to show they had a relationship. Bucky actually speaks in their language. Is it just Wakandan?
Yeah,
for like a sentence.
It's really cool to see, like, you're seeing different dynamics, right? So you see that Bucky, when he was going through this whole processing or deprogramming, he trusted Io, right?
Yeah.
He trusted her. And now you can see that she feels betrayed.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, like, we helped you. Now you're making the person who killed our king roam free? What are you doing? So, like, you see that trust being tested right there. And I was like, damn. And I think that was that beginning sequence was a huge moment. And even though it was a short time, it really set up something bigger.
Totally. I think if they were to extrapolate from that relationship in one of 3 or 4 directions, they would all be believable to me. If they have, I mean, because he's at his most vulnerable, right? When someone knows the buttons to push to make him into the monster. So for him to lay bare and let her potentially control him, like she's the person he chooses to go there to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not strapped into something. This is the first time we're trying it. We're out in the wild. It's just you and me. I have to completely trust you. It was so intimate. And so if that relationship is a compatriots in arms, like, soldiers together, or if it's lovers, or if it's brother, sister, whatever it is, it's deep. And it's the shared fear thing. And he trusts her completely. And therefore that betrayal is like, that's really good. That's dope.
Very good.
Well, later on in the episode, with that trust, she deactivates his arm. I mean, we'll bring that up again when it gets to that point, right? It's kind of in that same vein. So she gives them. She's like, you have 8 hours, and then after that, we're gonna do our own thing. Like you have 8 hours to do what you need with him, and then you better get it done by then. So he goes back inside, joins up with Zemo and Sam, and Zemo is just like, is he in a bathrobe? He's just chilling in his pad.
He's doing something.
Yeah,
Let me
they're
tell
super
you.
relaxed.
All I gotta
And,
say is that this is not the Falcon and the Winter Soldier anymore. This is Zemo and his friends.
Yeah.
He literally is the show, 100% for me right now.
So they catch on the news that Harley Morgenthau has blown up this GRC building. He's killed innocent people. And then they go through this debate of, and rightfully so. Zemo has his point. It's like, there shouldn't be super soldiers. That's his whole MO, right? What did you guys think of that discussion that they had about how super soldiers? I don't know how Carly became what did he say, a supremacist?
Right. He's using the idea that if she thinks one person should have more power than another, eventually she's going to choose her and her partners, above everybody else to have more power and more rights. I think he called her a supremacist.
Right.
But his logic is eventually flawed. It suits his agenda, which is something evil and hateful. So he wants a reason to kill and destroy, and he found one.
One of the things that I kind of didn't understand, where he was like, he's talking about how much he hates super soldiers, and then someone goes, well, Cap wasn't, and he's like, oh well, Cap was the exception. And I'm like, well, but that changes your outlook on things now, right? This is different, because you wanted to end this program, but you're saying now Captain America is the exception to this rule. So that's
Right.
what I was like, interesting. But
real quick, I saw this earlier today, and I did not want to forget to bring it up now, because now you're saying, mentioning that Zemo is pretty much kind of overtaken the show. Marvel Studios Instagram released this video of like extra footage of him dancing, like as if just this part wasn't good enough. There's also the awkward like clap to the beat. You can see it, right?
yeah.
This is so good.
Did you hear what happened with this? Apparently that they Daniel Bruhl, he filmed a longer segment. He kept on filming, and this is only like the tip of the iceberg of him dancing. So, and then when this scene came out last week, everyone was like, release the Zemo cut. They're
Hell yeah,
taking that. I was like, oh my goodness,
it's right there. That's perfect. That's cool, man. Like they just like they tell the actor, you know what? Just run with it. We're gonna keep the camera rolling. Just do what you need, and then we'll just take 2-3 seconds from it. But like, yeah, I'd love to see the whole segment of that. It'd be hilarious.
I watched like 10 minutes of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, is it actually out? Like you can see
They have
it.
a 1 hour long version.
It's an hour loop.
Oh, it's a loop. Like I thought they filmed him for an hour. Come on.
It's literally this, but for an hour.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. So yeah, they talk about Cap exception and what happens after that. They have to think of a plan. He's like, sorry, Bucky lets him know. He's like, hey, the Dora Milaje are here for you. They're asking for you. I'm the only one keeping you out of their hands right now, so you better cooperate. They formulate a plan to locate Carly. They're like, when Sam's like, oh, when my TT died, and then they go into that, like, your TT? That was awesome. Like another one of those dynamics with those three. Like it's fantastic. It's priceless.
Honestly, these guys, they deserve more than just a show by themselves. We need more. We need more of this. Let's get a season 2, guys, hopefully, but I'll take as much as this as I can.
So Sam comes up with a plan. It's like, hey, maybe there's this person was important to all these people, almost like the mother figure. Maybe they'll have like a ceremony, funeral, something like that for her. Maybe that's where we can find Carly, and they're gonna try and talk to her. Oh yes, Sam's like, she's just a kid, and then Zemo's like, oh, I think you're seeing something that's not there, right? I thought that part was pretty was pretty cool. And then he's just like, at the end of it, it's like, hey, your TT would be proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, this is such a, like, you could see Sam struggling with this a lot because it's a decision that he knows that what they're doing is kind of right, but he can't really be on their side 100%, and you can see he's conflicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all the different pieces are there to force Sam to really reveal what his state is, like what his attitude, his ideologies are. So he's in this situation where he's kind of displaced, right? He doesn't have a role in society. He doesn't have access to financial infrastructure the way he should. And then all the different elements in the show pull him in different directions to help him reveal to us, the audience, where his heart really is. So what it really comes down to is all of this is a test of his character, is to see if he's worthy to be Captain America.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where all these pieces are moving him towards. So they're all constructed in a way to help him reveal his true character. So Zemo is one of the voices in his head, and Bucky is one of the voices in his head, and Carly is one of the voices in his head, right? And so forth. And of course, John Walker.
And Steve, to be honest, too.
Yeah, Steve is very much present in the show, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's weird because we're not seeing Steve at all, but we feel him. We sense him. Every little thing we see in the show, Steve is an active character without being on screen.
I would argue he was on screen maybe twice today. Very distinctly on screen twice today. Once when John Walker comes busting through the door with a gun out. It was a complete echo of a part of the first Avenger, where the Howling Commandos come bursting through the door in the World War II montage. It was almost that frame exactly, but it's just him and Battlestar. The second time was when he goes bursting through the window out.
Yes.
We see Steve do the opposite, right? We see him in Civil War get pushed by Wanda up into take out Crossbones.
Yes, this is definitely something I want to touch on at the end of the episode. Okay. But yes, I definitely feel exactly what you're saying here.
Steve is there. It's really kind of cool how they do that, right? How you have a show about a character who isn't even in the show, but his presence is very much felt for sure.
We cut to a scene. Carly is with I don't know what the other guy's name is. I really don't know the rest of their names. It seems inconsequential. They're looking at their stash of the vials of the super soldier serum, the remaining ones they have left, because she wants to empower or create more super powered people for her cause. And it's kind of getting to this moral debate where the people that she killed, and that's something that they kind of cover throughout the whole episode of, like, I don't know, just where she is on that moral line of her cause, where she's at. And then I feel like some of her people are starting to kind of look at her in a different light,
exactly,
based on the recent events.
So she was someone that people looked up to and that they could follow, but they didn't want to do what she did. That they can't follow someone who has killed someone. And Sam does mention this later on. He says this exact point that you just brought up.
Anything else? Next scene.
Next scene.
John Walker, Battlestar catch up with the guys, and they find out he's with Zemo. They're like, "Yo, man, you stop doing this shit behind my back." Like, it always reminds me of that Game of Thrones line where he's just like, a man who has to. A king who has to say I don't know the exact words. Like, you have to keep saying you're a king. You're not a real king. Like, it shouldn't be something you have to constantly state. So I feel like John Walker's always the same. It's like, I'm Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. And he's not actually in the role. And that's constantly dogging him.
Yeah. I think one of the best parts of this scene was he's like, you broke him out. And they're like, no, actually, we didn't break him out. It's Alpha. And then everyone's just like, Yeah, I thought that was great. This scene, you could just see that this Cap, just as like he's not, he wants to be part of this clique, but he's not there. He's definitely trying his hardest, but people are one step ahead of him every everyone's just one step ahead of him, and he just can't keep up. So, and you see this happening, and we've seen
the frustration that he's like visually, like,
yeah,
I don't know, just he's got little twitches and ticks going on. Like he's losing it, man.
He is. He's like, we've seen this slowly happen. We've seen this decay of a hero throughout the first 3 episodes. We've seen him go from a high, and he's going to lows. He's hitting his lows, and he's mad that he even said this to Bucky. He's mad that he has that super soldier serum in Bucky, and does he deserve it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I should be the one who has it. And it's just, these are some of the scenes where you see like his descent to madness. And it's just, even though they're small little seeds, they're seeds.
So they're at this point where previously Zemo they were at the GRC building. He was able to uncover the location of the funeral, but he didn't tell the other guys because that's the only thing keeping him out of the hands of the Dora Milaje. It's like, if I tell you, you can just hand me over now. That's it. So until I tell you, I'm good. And I'm going to wait for my exit. I'm going to wait for that moment where I can just break free. So he's leading them all to the ceremony, and then they've got a plan. Sam's like, I got this. I work with veterans, that came back from war. I talked to people who like counseled people, I guess, who have lost people in war and stuff like that. So he feels like the main approach is to try to talk to Carly and reason and not fight. And John Walker's like, nah, man, we got to go in there fast and just smash things before anyone gets hurt. And then ultimately, it's just undermining his authority as Captain America. It's like, hey, I'm Cap. You guys should be doing my plan. Oh, we're gonna, and to the point where Battlestar's like, I think Sam's got the right plan.
Exactly. And
he looks at him like he's like, yo, I'm gonna talk to you about this later. Like, we're not fight in front of the kids. I'm gonna have a word with you after. Like he had no control.
Yeah, no, he had no control here. He got to the point where he was literally looking at the clock going, okay, this is taking too long. And you see this part in Sam where we haven't really seen him. We see him going, hey, like, I understand how you feel. And this is, for me, the point in the show where I was like, this is a Captain America here. This is your steps to becoming a Cap. You're showing that you are capable of this. You're showing that you have what Steve had, and it was here and here, and it wasn't the shields. It's these two things. Right. So,
in addition to
Captain America bulletproof
pieces. No, of course not.
I feel like his skin was at least a little bit more.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do much to him.
Sturdier, because there's always a shield.
And he got shot in Winter Soldier. He got shot like maybe 2 or 3 times in the final scene with Bucky.
Oh yeah,
he shoots him once in the back side.
Yeah. Okay,
once in the torso. He's bleeding right through. He got him. He made him real good.
I don't think he would like a normal person. He would have. If I got shot 9 times, I would have definitely died. But Steve has. I think, doesn't he have like regenerative
everything?
Yeah,
everything is improved for sure.
Yeah,
everything is sped up.
One of the really cool things I loved about the idea of Sam going in is they pulled that one out of the backstory in Winter Soldier that he works at the VA.
That's what the term. Yeah.
Veterans Affairs Hospital, I guess, is where he was counseling people, and you don't often see that as a tactic used by characters in an action series to resolve a conflict.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get like fight or flight, freeze, and this one like to mend, to actually go and say, hey, we actually have more in common. Like, let's look at the things we have in common. Let's talk this out. That's a really rare thing. That's like a certain Jedi would do that, but it's a mentality that we actually can we can resolve our differences and come to a peaceful conclusion. And you see Steve does that as well, like you're saying, Troy. That shows his worthiness to be Cap, is that he actually knows when a fight is necessary, and when there are other, when there are alternatives that can be more useful or more appropriate for the situation. Because Carly's not wrong that there is a problem. Carly is right that there is inequality, and Sam empathizes because Sam deals with that inequality all the time.
Of course.
So he gets it. But we say, of course, but I mean, everyone else is like, well, punch the person until they're unconscious, and then take them in, and then yell at them the whole time, and that's how you're going to be right.
And it was a great point where Sam goes to her. He's like, you were right. I agreed with you until you took it to the extreme. You could have been something that we could have rallied against or rallied with, but you did something immoral.
He says, like, I agree with you, but it's how you went about it.
Yes, that's
right.
Yes.
You're hurting people. Yeah, that's just where you cross that line. It was really good. I'm just really excited that they give us a version of Falcon that is not just a extreme op or extreme operator that can do these amazing high flying missions. He has this other skill set that we haven't seen from like any other Avenger. I can give emotional support. I can talk somebody down. I can have a debate with them without it escalating to the point of fisticuffs every time. I thought it was a really powerful, and it also just shows you how unqualified John Walker is.
I think there's a line later in the episode where he's like, shedding blood is not the only option, right? And he's completely living that. I think it was really interesting where Carly has this one slip where she's like, Sam's like, you killed innocent people, and then she's just like, oh, you know what? They're guilty because they're in the way or they're part of the problem. And then immediately she's like, you know what? That didn't sound right. And so like there is always that play where she's just like, this is an antagonist where what are her reasons, right? And she seems like she's struggling with that where she's going as well. I thought that was a really interesting line that they put in that interaction.
Yeah, she's not doesn't have clean hands at all.
No,
right? Any moral high ground that she has, she loses because of her actions.
I love how most of these characters in the show have so much conflict within them. And that's what's great about the show. Every character you see, there's conflict within them, and they're battling those demons. So this show is so good.
Oh, I have the quote right here. She said, they're not innocent. They're roadblocks in my journey, and I'd kill them again if I had to. And then she goes, no, wait, you tricked me into saying that. And then Sam just got his smirk on his face. He's like, gotcha. Like, I didn't trick you into saying anything. Those are your words.
Yeah.
And this is him defeating the antagonist with words.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't trick you into saying it. We're just having a conversation.
Yep.
We didn't have to fight to get to this point. But he was supposed to have 10 minutes to talk her down and, I don't know, I guess bring her in or figure out a resolution. John Walker, who's slowly losing control, or quickly at this point, rapidly even, he's just like, oh, I'm going in. I don't care. He doesn't have any powers because he doesn't see like just a conversation as a skill set. He's like, he can't punch things, and she's a super soldier. He's trying to convince Bucky. He's like, you don't have your partner's back. You think he's safe in there? So when he storms in, they were having the conversation there, Carly and Sam, under the pretense that Sam was not working for Cap. He wasn't there with other people. He was just on his own. So when she sees him, it's just like, you set me up. You were just trying to chat me up until they came here. They get into a fight. This is the opportunity for Zemo to break free of his handcuffs. There's a chase scene, and Carly drops her stash of the super soldier serum. And let me know if I'm missing anything, because I'm trying.
We missed a huge part. We missed when they were in Zemo's house.
Isn't that still coming?
Is it, or is it later?
It comes after, because they've.
Don't worry, I got you. No, that's later. That's your bus. That's your bus sign.
Okay.
Trap. I don't know why we're keeping it in suspense. Like this is the spoiler full section.
Okay.
Yeah, so she drops all of them. He shoots her. She's bleeding out. She can't recover them because he's going to shoot her. That's when I was like, hey, is Cap bulletproof? But piercing pencils is like super soldier serum gives a healing factor, so
Sure.
you just heal quicker. So Zemo looks at it and he's just like, "Oh my god, this is it." He just starts stomping on all of these vials of the super soldier serum, and I believe as he's doing that, Carly sees an opening to leave. She escapes, and then all of a sudden, Zemo gets smoked in the face with a shield, right? And he gets knocked out. John Walker comes in, and this is the moment where you're like, "Oh, he's gonna do it. This is it." He finds a vial, and sure enough, there's one remaining between some garbage. He picks it up. Did you guys think he was gonna take it there
Yes.
on the spot?
Oh no, take it there. No, I didn't think so.
Like inject it.
No, I thought he was gonna save it for a rainy day.
Okay, cool.
Sooner, like he was gonna take it eventually, like in the next couple hours, but he wasn't gonna do it there. But
I think I was too anxious where I'm looking for the first opportunity to be like, "Oh, here it is, here's the moment," and then he puts it in his pocket. I'm like, "Okay, playing the long game."
I was surprised. I know we're just jumping ahead a moment, but we'll come back. I was surprised that he does consume it off camera. I thought we were going to get that.
Right.
That like they told us where Carly and one of her friends were talking about the experience of having like your veins on fire or whatever they were saying, thinking she was going to die. I was like, oh, we're going to get that scene, aren't we? So I actually still think it's coming. I think it's going to sort of in the flashback, maybe start the next episode where it's like him in the room with an injection device of some kind.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how
he's going to be going through the twitching, wishing he's going to die for a minute. And I just thought it would take maybe days. Like, I don't know why I thought it was a longer process. So the fact that it happens off camera and he comes back and he's like, I was a little surprised, but I still think we will get maybe a chance to see.
That would be cool.
A moment of truth where you kind of see him hesitate for a moment or whatever it's going to be. But yeah, so he grabs it and then puts it in the pocket. I'm interested in just the Captain America pocket system. Like, what is he? Is it Velcro on there? Super Soldier wears Velcro?
Doesn't the military use Velcro for a lot of their things opposed to like actual buttons?
I don't know. I would.
Considering the three of us have a combined 0 years of service.
Yeah. I believe my friend told me this. Like, he had like all his gear like on him was all Velcro, and that it was just like because it was buttons or something, it could get stuck, something could happen. So I think that's what he was telling me when he was in when he was doing his training.
Makes sense. It's like the same system Batman would use.
Yes. I do watch a lot of SEAL Team, and on SEAL Team they have Velcro. I do not necessarily believe that to be an accurate portrayal of the brave men and women who serve in their nation.
There are people if there are any people with military service watching this right now, I do apologize. They're watching us, they're just like, look at these idiots. What are they talking?
We salute you. We salute you everything you guys do. So
I think him taking it off camera, hopefully we do see it, Jason, like you're saying, like you're predicting. But for somebody like me who's like at every turn, I'm like, he's gonna take it now. He's gonna take it now. He's gonna take it now. It didn't happen, and then all of a sudden it was like on that wrench. I was like, oh, he took it. So it couldn't have been a surprise if you were expecting it. But if they recreated the element of surprise by not showing you where it happened, and then backtracking and showing you a flashback, that would be
it's a great
without robbing you of that scene.
Yeah, it's a great storytelling technique. Like, we've seen this technique used in so many different like films and TV shows where someone does something off screen and then you see the repercussions of it after, and then they show it to you the next episode or the next couple of things. So honestly, this was such a pivotal moment in the show, and I thought this was such a great like little piece because everyone was like, is he, isn't he? And then we obviously see him, he does. So
I also was glad that it finally clarified for a lot of people who were reading the show differently. There were people who thought he already had super soldier serum,
right?
And just to add this added some clarity about that. Obviously he did not. And additionally in the comics, John Walker is super powered with a super soldier serum power broker thing before he becomes Captain America. He's a character called the Super Patriot. He has ambition to be more than that. He spends a very short campaign trying to decredit Steve Rogers as Captain America. And then he gets attention within the circle of influence that, control what Captain America does. And when Steve Rogers quits, they view John Walker as an eligible candidate. But he's already superpowered before he becomes Cap.
Right.
Obviously, the show, it's not the same way. He goes in as a top level human athlete, but man, oh man, can you imagine having to put on, to take on that mantle without the additional powers and strengths that come with being a super soldier? It's kind of unfair. Yeah.
And that's why he does descend to the madness he does, because he's being compared to someone who was a symbol and had something that made him the symbol, and now he wants that, and he's always wanted that, and he's like, will I ever live up to that mantle? Will I ever be able to show that I am him? And you see that is his conflict, and he's trying to be that symbol, but in reality he's never going to be that symbol if he doesn't take the serum. So
right. And the next scene, like the most badass fight scene at the end of it, adds more to that, with that one line where he's completely defeated. He gets his ass handed to him by the Dora Milaje, and he's like, they weren't even super soldiers. It's just like, dude, this guy can't catch a break. And that's the perfect line. They're highly trained, set of Wakandan warriors. He's like, they don't even have the super soldier serum, and I got my ass handed to me by them. But they're back in Zemo's place because John Walker wants to. He's like, okay, we're gonna arrest him now, and Sam's like, dude, we've made more progress with him than without. Like, we can still use every bit of help we can get going forward. Then out of nowhere, the spear comes in.
I think we need to do a quick PSA though. If you are ever suffering a concussion from getting hit in the head with a vibranium shield,
do not lay down.
Do not start consuming alcohol. Like, he was drinking some straight up. He was drinking like a scotch or something like that. Like, don't be drinking alcohol. You got a concussion. You got to stay off that stuff for a little bit.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, actually, there was good thing you brought that up, because there was that line where he's like, in that scene, that one part of the scene, he says to Sam, like, hypothetically, if you had the super soldier serum, if you had access to it, would you take it? And then Sam's like, no, I wouldn't. And then he's like, oh, you didn't even hesitate. Like, that's respectable. And that is more of the character of Sam and his path to being a Captain America. And then, John Walker busts in. He's trying to take back Zemo. Spear comes through, and Dora Milaje, they stand off against John Walker. He's like, you guys have no jurisdiction here. Dude, she's like, the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever they go, or something like that. I was like, bad ass.
So good.
And the toy collector in me is just like, oh, how many of those Dora Milaje do I have again? Because this is gangster.
I'm happy that we actually have an AO.
Yeah, totally.
Marvel Legends. So
I could watch her in that role on screen for hours.
Yeah,
I want the 1 hour loop of her doing whatever, move or be moved. Just she has such a presence on screen, and she looks awesome. Just to flip it to a toy thing quickly, would you guys get a Dora Milaje comic style figure? Would you want one? We've got the movie ones, right?
Yeah.
Would you want a comic one?
of course. That's like 100%. If they did like one body and a generic head, like 3 generic heads, I'd buy 3 in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
But the MCU ones look great, though. That's the photo reel.
Yeah,
that look those head sculpts look amazing.
They do.
They're very cool.
So
Best
they
fighters,
kick ass.
best human fighters in the Marvel universe, on Earth.
I'm sorry?
Are they the best human fighters in the MCU on Earth?
I think they're the most trained.
Is there someone who's human, no extra powers, no weapon, who could beat them hand to hand?
Is that like an Iron Fist, Shang-Chi?
Iron Fist is out. He's got supernatural power, right?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, they're probably the most trained people
He has
And
an
probably
eye.
the best nourished as well. Like I can imagine scientifically, like they have
Mhm.
they healed from all their wounds from the wear and tear of being combatants
Right.
because of the vibranium like healing tech and all that stuff. But I'm trying to think who could beat one. Who's the best fighter? I don't know.
Let's go
Oh,
chat.
yeah.
What do you think?
The best Black Widow. The Black Widow
Maybe.
program could, but they make more use of weapons too. But I'm interested.
That's why we wanted to see that showdown between Black Widow and Io. Remember in at the end of Civil War? Jose Morales says the only Velcro that I had was on my mop gear. Is mop gear exactly what it sounds like? I'm hoping it's not. Buttons, zippers, and straps. Then again, I served in the 80s. I don't know.
Yeah, what is mop gear? We need to hear more about that.
So during this fight, Zemo locks himself into the washroom, and at first I'm just like, what the hell is the lock gonna do in this fight? But sure enough, this is his pad, his little bachelor pad. He has a tunnel under his bathtub, like Troy has a secret escape behind his bus poster in his room there. Barton, Clint that good of a fighter? I don't know.
Clint?
I mean, he's a bow.
But he still does hand to hand.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think of this fight scene, though? Not just for the
great.
meeting, but the actual like combat.
It was great.
This is probably one of the best fight scenes we've seen in any of the shows so far, because this is so much hand-to-hand combat, and this is mixing in the different movies, and you're getting such a huge choreographed fight scene, and this was so good.
There are actually two weird things that stood out to me like negatively from just simply a director point of view. There was that part where back when I think Carly gets shot, I think it was when there was a view of someone on the ground through dripping. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A view of what's right?
There was
the vial?
there was a view of a character on the ground from behind something that's dripping.
Yeah.
And it was just a shot like that for no reason. The dripping had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
It didn't add anything. And the other shot is, I think, as Bucky, maybe it's still coming, as Bucky jumps out a window, and then he runs super soldier speed, but the camera just was still, and he ran away, and it looked like they just put it on fast forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Carly, he's chasing after Carly, and she's doing an exaggerated run too.
And the other times when they've done it, they've had like the camera going with the character, or they've had the camera moving, so it doesn't reveal the limitation of making a character run super fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't look silly. This one, the camera was static, and I thought it looked silly.
I just found that
But I
scene
forget.
where the dripping was happening. I thought there was going to be a bigger payoff, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't-
like dripping for no reason.
Yeah, I thought maybe that was like gasoline or something.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah,
this is
exactly.
gasoline. Like, so he's gonna blow up. But it was just such a pointless shot.
Yeah,
It was a
that's what.
pointless- Yeah, no, I agree with you. There was a buildup with no payoff.
Maybe
But
Kevin
it's like
Smith is
minor
talking
thing.
about this from a director's perspective on his show.
He doesn't talk about directors.
No, like direction. You know, you said he does weekly about this
He
too.
does, but he also acknowledges that he's like he fell upwards, kind of. You know, he doesn't. He talks about himself in quite a self-deprecating way, where he doesn't think of his shot choices as particularly intelligent. You know, that's what you hire a good cinematographer for. You know.
Yeah, I was just trying to tie that back in.
Thank you. I should have let you
Circle back. Hilarious part where there's like, Sam's like, we should do something, and then it looks like Bucky's gonna step in. He's like, "Hey, looking strong, John." He's just cheering him on from the side while John's getting his ass kicked. I had another question. When Cap steps on the shield and it pops up into the air and it goes on his arm like this, what is the mechanism there?
I don't think
Is
there's
it a
any
magnet?
mechanism. I
Is
think
he putting his hand through the two leather straps really quickly? Because one of the Dora Milaje does the same thing, which I thought was totally badass, because she took this symbol that John Walker is supposed to be. She just like effortlessly made it hers.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, what is the technology there? Is it magnetic?
So in the MCU, in Age of Ultron was the one time they employed the magnetic shield return to Gauntlet, and it didn't. It did not play a role in any other scene, I think, other than the opening scene, or in any other MCU film. But what is he normally doing when he does that? I don't know.
Am I just overthinking it?
No, I know you're thinking it.
This is a line from I guess Civil War when he's fighting Spider-Man. He's like, that shield defies physics or something. Yeah. So that's what I think of it. It's just a shield that just defies every law of physics we have.
It's comic booky.
Yes, it's just pure comic booky. I don't need an explanation of it. I just need to see the visual. I go, wow.
Maybe he just grabs the front strap with his fist when he does that.
And then he just clicks it into place. Super cool.
Yes, which is a complete CGI moment, right? Like I love hearing it. There's so many different size shields for depending on what the scene is, and what the action needs to be. Because if he's has to duck behind it, they give him a bigger one. And if it's going on his back, it's a smaller one. So
that makes sense.
Around, like they're actually the props vary in size significantly. There are comics, where he has it under a jacket on his back. I'm like, really? Yeah. So
it does defy physics. It is size changing, I guess.
Yes.
So Zemo escapes. This is the opportunity that he was looking for. He escapes while the Dora Milaje come for him. So it was just perfect timing. Cut to another scene, which is another one that shows the contrast between John Walker and Sam. Because he's contemplating, what would you do? He asked Lamar, what would you do if you had a chance to take the super soldier serum? Because now he has it and he's just debating. And they talk about how he has all these medals of honor. You were the one who was chosen for Captain America. Like, you should take it. It amplifies who you are, kind of deal. So Steve Rogers made like the scrawny Steve Rogers into, Captain America with all of his values and stuff. It was just amplified. And the same with Carly Morgenthau.
Yep.
What did you guys think of that? Like, it's just seeing, like, they ask him for the autograph, and it just shows like that stuff is kind of meaningless at this point, and he's just debating about what does this all mean if I don't have the means to be this person that I'm supposed to be.
I'm just a show poodle.
Yeah. It just shows you that how John definitely can't live up to the mantle of Cap without being enhanced. He needs something to become more, and you see him struggle with it, and that's something that his whole arc has been, is struggling. And Lamar is the first one who goes, no, I wouldn't do it, but that John is like, no, I need to do this regardless of what you think. I'm going to do it.
It reminds me also of the scene in Homecoming, where Spider-Man Homecoming, where Tony takes the suit away from Peter.
Yeah,
it's after the ferry to Staten Island, was it? Where Peter has his debacle and Tony takes the suit. Who need that suit back? Yeah, and he says, like, basically, like, I know I need to have that suit. I can't do this without it. He says, well, if you can't do it with it, then you shouldn't have it. Like, you have to be able to be Spider-Man without this extra tech. And Spidey finds a way and kind of earns it. Obviously, you guys know how that ends. You've seen that once or twice.
Yeah,
but it reminds me of this idea that, if you're going to be fighting the good fight, you need to be, like, morally know what you're doing and have the high ground as much as you can. But you also can't rely on the super soldier serum to be able to do your job the way that Falcon,
is able to.
Yeah, he'll do the job with whatever way he can, with whatever means he has at his disposal without having to compromise, and do something illegal or something immoral, like taking the serum.
Mm-hmm.
John Walker is in a really, really bad spot.
Yeah. Matt R brings up a good point. The disarming moment, which we
It's
talked
amazing.
about briefly earlier, in the middle of the fight between the Dora Milaje, the Wakandans who helped Bucky and gave him the tech for his new, is it a bionic arm?
Sure.
Robot arm. She has some sort of master key or something in her hand. I couldn't see it because I don't know, the kid was bothering me or something.
I thought it was just pressure points. Like she knew the sequence of places to touch in what order. Did you guys see something in her hand?
Yeah, she just went like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just, because I kind of looked away for a second. I thought she had some sort of like NFC technology. It's like touches it and it just powers off because like his arm just falls off.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Connection point. And when we talked about this earlier, it's like they have this trust. They built this relationship. Bucky went behind their back and released. Well, didn't release Zemo. He got out on his own.
Yeah.
And this whole time, this thing about trust, she had this kind of fail-safe for his arm, for his tech.
I love it. It reminded me also, like, if it had been Batman, he would have had the button on his belt.
Yeah.
But
sure.
like for her to know the places to push, it was just a really good story moment. Also, like because it goes back to the relationship they set up at the beginning of the episode. And just to see him deflated and to be like, oh, I'm just a guy with one arm. Like
it also shows him that like, hey, like these people helped you, and they could take everything away.
Yeah.
So that's what I got out of that.
What if, and then, you can take it to the next level. It's like, if they can just undo the work they did for the arm, like, can they undo the work that they did for his brain?
That's a good thing. That put a little seed of doubt in him for sure. I didn't think of that.
Where does it end? And a toy collector moment, when he puts his arm back up, he does like a full 360 straight all the way around. I was like, oh, that's crazy articulation. I said that to yeah, I'm like, that's good range of motion. We should cover this in a review.
He does that in Winter Soldier as well, by the way. When he gets his arm, when he's fighting with Steve, and Steve like puts some pressure on his arm, to recalibrate it, and makes this really cool clicking noise. And like a word like kind of, it's very cool.
So that fight ends, and Carly Morgenthau, she's like, we need to kill Captain America. I don't know how to do it. Well, you know what? I got a plan. We got to separate him from Sam and Bucky. So she ends up calling Sam's sister and makes some threats to the family, this and that. Meet me at this point. So she meets Sam and Bucky at a place. And previously, Sam had contacted Sharon Carter, who was like, oh yeah, I have access to this technology. I can check this and that. And then in the middle of that conversation between Carly and Sam, he gets a call from Shannon, and she's like, those guys are converging on John Walker like right now. And they realize it's a decoy because he's going into this fight with all of these with all the super powered flag smashers. And in this fight, ultimately, his sidekick, I guess, his partner, his friend, Lamar Battlestar, gets punched so hard into a pillar. To me, it's like, I feel like every other punch like that in the MCU, someone would just fly through the pillar. But I guess you have to be like unbreakable to do that. But he just hit it, and he just slumped over, man. And the fight comes to a halt, and everyone's just looking on
stunned.
Sam, Bucky, the other flag smashers. Even Carly looked at, for a second, just like, they're just like, oh shit, like this has gone too far, right?
Yeah, it was a good moment, and we all knew it was coming.
Yeah,
since he's been wearing the Star Trek red shirt since he came on the show in episode 2. And it was all just a matter of time, but it's too bad. I'm glad that he got his couple moments of kind of being a voice of reason for John. I still don't think that we feel enough of what John feels to relate still to John. Like there's his death. I knew it was coming, and it felt, especially physically, you can kind of you feel it as he gets smacked and gets crunched. felt it. But I wonder if the audience experiences the loss to any degree that John does. He might have needed more screen time, or
Yeah.
a couple other scenes of greater value, maybe where we saw him and Sam walking together and talking for a minute, or him helping a kid, or just one other hero moment for him where you get the sense he is pure of heart, that he's the last shred of goodwill in the heart of John Walker, and now he's gone. Okay, now done. This is rage time. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
This is the end of me. I'm no longer like, like Anakin losing his mother to the Tusken Raiders or something. Like, the last shred of his humanity needed to be stripped away. But I don't know if we as an audience felt enough about Lamar's.
Like, you feel like they didn't build that bond enough to feel
it's tough
being taken away.
We only had him for 3 episodes, and he doesn't get a lot of screen time. It's not the Lamar show, so we didn't really get him enough. But I think for it, so television show, like large story structure, the moment in this episode where we go from where he takes a super soldier serum, where Zemo runs away, and where Lamar dies. This is the midpoint of a story. A story is going in one direction, and then all of a sudden the adventure we think we're on, it switches course. There's a new antagonist now. Now John is a villain. We're now chasing Zemo, which we weren't doing before. Like, and Lamar's dead. So like things have just flipped. And a midpoint is supposed to be a pretty dramatic thing. It's supposed to feel like, what? This is the moment where Arnim Zola is revealed in Winter Soldier. You thought you were doing this? No, you're doing this. That's how we're moving forward, Right. So the whole thing's supposed to kind of flip on its head at this point in the story. And it's like, it's a little flip. It was a somersault, maybe. Like a little kid in the backyard doing a sideways somersault. It wasn't a full-on, head over heels flip. So it was a little bit. But it also now leaves us with 2 episodes left to wrap up a third act, which is the pacing's fine. Like, it should be okay.
I mean, we have 1 hour episodes each, so we still have technically like 2 hours of this show to we
still have to hit the low, right? Like, we have to see Sam and I guess Buck both at their absolute lowest point. Like, they have to have lost everything.
Honestly, I personally think the lowest of the show is the last scene of this episode. Because I don't know if we're getting there just yet, but like we'll discuss it. But I think
if this is the lowest, then it's John's story.
Yeah. It's not Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right. It has to be the lowest moment for the hero.
But I'll touch on why I think it's the lowest later. But
well, get to it. We're there. The fight. Well, this is his supervillain moment, right?
Yeah. So like
over the edge.
We see John is distraught. He goes after. He does his superhero landing on that car, and then he goes after the guy, and the guy's like, "No, it wasn't me." And
poor bastard. He was the slowest one.
Yeah. He was the last person. He just takes that shield and basically dismembers him, kills him. And then you see that symbolism of that shield, and you see everyone watching.
Yeah.
Everyone. You see every single person in the world
is watching.
The world
Those
is watching.
Are connected to the internet.
Yeah. And you see that Sam is watching. You see Bucky's watching. And we've always seen
Carly's watching.
Carly's watching. We always see Steve with his shield, and always at an angle. And it's always, at that low angle, and it's like that moment of that's Captain America. But when you see that blood on it, that's the moment everyone goes, this is different. This just changed everything. The symbol that we've been protecting is now tainted. And I think this is the lowest every single person is going to have, because the symbol that represents them, that represented Steve, is now a tainted one. It's now tarnished with blood.
I think it has to go one step further.
You think?
I think something has to happen to Sam.
Yeah.
Where either his sister does get killed, or his nephew gets killed, his nephews or something. I don't want to see his nephews die, not on a Disney show. But maybe the sister, or something one step more has to go where that crushes Sam, or Sam doesn't know how he's going to carry on. I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But that leads us to the prediction. Are we allowed to go into this? already? I mean, the episode ended. Can we take
Yeah,
a step
episode
towards episode 5? So, during the development of the show, it was sort of the writer was quoted. I think it was showrunner or the writer was quoted as talking about episode 5 as having a Hollywood actor, like a person, it was on set for 2 days.
Yes,
the
I heard this, yeah.
Skywalker level cameo.
I don't think we can ever do that ever again. I mean, like, I wish the internet would stop saying that, because that was 40 years in the making. Like, come on, you can't. There's no such thing as a Skywalker level reveal on a thing that's only 12 years old or whatever. But so yeah, I think 2 days on set. I think I heard it was a female character, and the other big clue was that the writer said something about it's a grounded character, so it'd be really fun one day to see this character opposite a character like Thor or the Guardians, just because it's their contrast. So I think the big rumor seems to be, or a lot of the talk seems to be, that it's Florence Pugh, that it's Black Widow, right? The new Black Widow, which of course would align nicely if the movie had to come out in time last year.
You know what? This does sound familiar, because I remember I do watch a lot of those rumor sites,
right?
And I stopped, but they did mention that she was seen on set. So,
right. So it's time. As we've talked about before, I think it would have been better if they had given us a fraction of a hint, where, like, whatever when this character, if it plays out that way, when she arrives, she references something that we're like, oh yeah, well, that's what that was. Like, it connects to an earlier thing. It's going to come out of the blue. This is going to be our first time. If this is her, it's going to be our first time seeing her in character in a narrative as opposed to a trailer, and it will be fine. The three of us will be cheering if she comes on screen. I'm sure we'll be freaking out, but it'll be really weird to other audience members who are not as initiated, as they say. But if it is this, my hunch is that she's on the trail of the power broker as well. Like, their paths cross, because, like, Sam, I've been on this case for 9 months. Like, I'm pursuing this, like, maybe like Sam is the power broker kidnaps his sister and he has to go get his sister back, and Florence Pugh is getting, I don't know, I'm not sure, but something like that. And the other talk was maybe it's Jennifer Walters, but I don't think they're gonna introduce.
Yeah, I heard that too. No,
that's She-Hulk. I don't think they're gonna. But you know who I hope it's gonna be, even though I know it's not, is, if I had my wish of what it would be Mike Coulter.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Luke Cage is like, you want to talk about racism in American superheroes? Do I have a conversation for you, friend? And they team up, and he joins them, and I want to see Luke Cage again. I like Luke Cage.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, 80s baby is in the house, man. What's up, Dario? Thanks for stopping by. But we just finished up the wrap up of the Hasbro event recap and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But in terms of toy, I feel, dude, we've been so lucky. Every week, at the end of every week, we talk about this an episode of the show. There's been toy news. The first thing was the reveal of was this Marvel.com?
Yes.
Yeah, Marvel.com showed like new merch for shows and stuff. They showed the Marvel Legends Baron Zemo here unmasked with his really, really cool jacket that I like. In real life, I would like a jacket like that. As well as the masked version. Those were the only two pictures that they showed. Troy was like, is this a mask that goes on top, or is it a head swap? Unclear yet. It could very well just be a head swap.
Head swap.
You can see on the screen right here, Jason already said dope. So we've got that covered. Troy, what about you, man?
Honestly, I think the only reason I would get this figure is just have that unmasked head sculpt, have those two fists up going.
So I have this Hazard Squad Mezco who has the turtleneck. This figure, I mean, I can put the Zemo head on here maybe and do dancing Zemo, because if you take this jacket off, he doesn't have the arms for that scene, right?
That's right.
Material. But I think this Troy's back into MCU figures. This is another one that Dan got you with, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this figure looks really good. I really think this is like it's great, and the unmasked head sculpt is great as well. And I have a really big feeling that we're definitely going to be seeing that Bucky figure next week.
Hopefully so. We'll have another thing to talk about. And another thing, this was obviously already revealed, but I was able to place my pre-order today on Walmart.ca. I sent you the link.
You did.
And,
I got it
then
too.
I placed a pre-order, then I watched the episode, and I'm like, oh, I need a Bloody Shield variant. I guess I'll have to just buy some red paint.
That's what I said to myself. I was like, this figure is not complete without the blood.
Maybe it's hiding in the packaging. That would be cool. They don't want to. They don't want to have any spoilers. Jason, this wasn't for you, right?
Pardon me?
This figure, did you this? You're not getting this, right?
I don't remember. I think what I said was I only want one. I want either this one or the darker suited one that's US Agent. Right. And I like the unmasked head. I think that's awesome. So whichever one I can come across first. I don't remember. Does the other one come in with a Build-A-Figure? Is there any talk about that?
Yeah, it's the wings of the Falcon.
The wings way.
Well, so I got to get that. Also, I don't know if you guys have any hunch about this, but will the wings of the Falcon, the MCU Falcon, fit on the back of the comic version of Falcon Cap, who, for no sensical reason, does not come with wings?
Just the shield.
Just the shield. Can you imagine they made a Falcon Cap figure with no wings? So there's a lot of like.
You imagine they made a cannonball with no. Oh wait, never mind. It's possible. You know what?
Right.
The wings might come later. It's all interchangeable.
People have done all sorts of versions of getting wings, like they would, now with the 3D printing, like you can print up pieces.
Yeah.
And I got to ask anyone I know with a 3D printer named Kevin, maybe to
very specific
talk with me at some point about putting together some wings for my for that cap. Actually, I think they're going to re-release that cap one day with
that would be
better paint apps because he's really, really. He's hard to find on the secondary market, but also his red, like his coloring it's bland compared to what they would do today. But
I'm 100% sure that they're going to release it again. It's that 3-pack was out at a time where no one really like collected Marvel Legends.
Right.
They're like, oh, it was cool. I'll see it. But now that Marvel Legends has blown up, that figure has gone skyrocketing, and it was a Toys R Us exclusive. And
it has it?
Yeah, it has.
Interesting. No, but it's not. Matt R says shots fired. No, like at that time, I remember people were scrambling to find wings for this Falcon cap, and they were using that what was that video game that didn't take off, and it was a Falcon figure. It was like this big. You had to take the wings off and do I even bought that figure. I never ended up doing it because there's that guy. I did too. I think I ended up getting rid of it, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it. So you know what? Hopefully they do improve. The theme that we've been going through is just like when the first segment of this, when we're talking about the toys, is like they've been doing it better and they've been coming back, revisiting it, and fixing the shortcomings of any previous versions. So fingers crossed.
I just hope those wings do port into the back on that other figure. But I happen to have my other Falcon wings here, the ones from
those are the armpit wings.
From this guy, the armpit wings, which match what the figure in the comic book would wear.
Yeah.
But of course, the one we have, like the Falcon cap, doesn't have those ports in the bottom of his arm.
Flex
so, shirt on or off?
No. Well, we're like it's almost near midnight, so this is like the time of night where shirt off is fine.
This stays on.
Anyway, so do I go and make holes in my Falcon cap figure to port these things in?
Patience. You said your own words were wait.
Yeah.
In this episode, 2 hours ish ago, guys.
Honestly, Dwight Stahl said it best. Just patience, and we'll get around to it. And this is something that definitely they're going to get around to. So instead of dope or nope, just have hope.
Hope.
I'm just going to try to make that fly.
Collections were built on hope.
Very much so.
I want a T-shirt that says that collections were built on hope, but it's such a specific thing. If anyone else is looking like, what the hell are you talking about? Rebellions, no, collections were built on hope. You're gonna get that figure to complete your team for your display. Okay, guys, you can do it. Gentlemen, I think this is a good time as any to call it. It's been a while, but this is 2 events into one. If this has run longer than you expected, I'm sorry, but also I am grateful. Thank you. I got to see the toys today, but to actually talk about it with real people, that was real cool. And
you got to see it with like the best people.
Dude, I can't. This is like super like pretentious. Like, oh, I'm so flooded with notifications right now. I can't even.
Yeah, you show me.
Tagging me. Yeah, I appreciate it, but it's super douchey thing to say. But I do want to get to replying to everybody because they're all showing love and I do appreciate it. Troy, you are Troy Collects Toys on Instagram.
Yes,
Jason
sir.
Lapidus on Instagram. Follow these awesome dudes. What else have we got going on? We'll be back next Friday. I'll be back next Thursday with Chamba for Unboxing Thursdays. We're gonna open some toys, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier next Friday.
Can't wait.
Sound good?
Yeah,
Sounds
time for some
good.
Invincible.
Yes, and yes, Troy on his YouTube, he has a review for this figure that's somehow still in box. So how did he do it? Find out on YouTube/Troy Collects Toys. Because is there any other reviews out there? You're probably one of the first ones. Go check it out, guys.
I think I'm the first, probably. Yeah.
Congrats.
Can someone help me answer my question by just rewatching the scene here, please? I can't rewatch the scene here.
What's the question, though?
I didn't see a question earlier. Real quick, what's your question? I saw goldish yellow color in the eyes of Hoskins as soon as he gets free from the Flag Smashers. Can you review it? Because nobody is giving a shit about it. When he's like tied up, I saw yellow color in the eyes of Hoskins as soon as he gets free from the.
So would the idea be that there's some sort of transformation? Are you looking for a Mystique thing? Is that what? Or a scroll thing? Is that what you're suggesting?
Or maybe John gave him a little sippy sip of the special drink.
You think they take it by drinking it?
I don't know.
I think so.
It's called a Super Soldier Suppository. You didn't know about that?
Oh, well, he put it half. Okay, guys, this is. I thought that there was a chance. Maybe he's just like, hey man, let's do this together. I'll give you a quarter of it, and I'll take the other 3/4.
But we know Lamar didn't want to do it, so
he looks pretty dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, he did.
Factual.
That boy dead. All right, guys. Thank you for the questions. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you guys. You rock. Until next week. Keep toying around. Peace.